players, albeit a bit of a ragtag bunch of players walking out onto the pitch at Turf Moor tonight. What can they do? As Sam said, this 11 haven't played together. But what else can Manchester United do? Roll the dice, see what happens. So much going on across Talksport in terms of live sport tonight. The football here on Talksport, the undercard of Zhang Joyce on Talksport 2. It's really essential you download the Talksport app and swipe between the two stations so you won't miss anything. Really looking forward to this one. Sit back and enjoy in the company of two of Manchester's finest, Mickey Gray and Sam Matterface.
Thank you very much, Faye. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Turf Moor. The Manchester United fans away to our right-hand side, crammed into the cricket ground end, the Barnfield construction stand as it's now known. They occupy one half of it and they stand defiant. It is ironic, really, isn't it, that it is in Lancashire's heart that Manchester United need to show they still have one. After defeats in London to Spurs and Arsenal, Erik ten Hag will hope that 21 miles from Old Trafford, a town prominent in the Industrial Revolution, provides him with a chance to start a footballing one. It has been 50 years since Manchester United lost their first 3 league away games of a season. Surely they won't lose against the Burnley side, still looking for their first Premier League victory of the campaign. Not many would take that bet, not with the eye-boggling team selection, and even their boss sat there yesterday and was exasperated with their defensive shape. They fold like a pack of cards, he said, and they've sprung more leaks from their dressing room than a rusty pipe. No surprise, really, because the defence can't hold water either. This is a meeting of the two teams that have conceded 26 goals between them in all competitions, and it's not even October yet. Vincent Kompany was exasperated too with Burnley's last game, but it was the officials he was annoyed with, even if he played the diplomat. Not that his diplomacy got Lyle Foster off the hook. He is banned after a red card at Forest as Burnley made just the one change from Monday's draw. They start with Trafford in goal, a back four of Roberts, Al-Dakhil, Bayer and Charlie Taylor. Josh Cullen and Josh Brownhill will hold in midfield, with Aaron Ramsey making the 50th career appearance of his career behind Gudmundsson and Koleosho, the wingers, and Amdouni as the false 9-stroke centre forward, playing in place of Foster. Manchester United fans hoping for big hitting returns will be a little bit disappointed. Johnny Evans makes his first start in his second spell. It's his 200th Manchester United appearance. Varane is only on the bench. Onana is the goalkeeper. Diego Dalot is going to have his hands full on that right hand side. Lindelof, Evans and Reguilon make up the back four. The midfielders, Hannibal Mejbri, McTominay, Bruno Fernandes and Casemiro. We can just chuck some names up and hope that they land in a particular order, with Marcus Rashford and Rasmus Højlund leading the line for Manchester United. That formation is going to be all important and we will get to it. I had this sneaky suspicion that it was going to be Casemiro and McTominay holding in midfield, with Mejbri going out to the right hand side, maybe Fernandes out there. We'll see how they line up in the next few moments. They can't play a diamond, surely, again. We'll get to Mickey Gray and his views on that in just a second. The referee's Tony Harrington, a rare Premier League game for him. The VAR, Simon Hooper. We've already brought you all the goals from the Premier League and the EFL. We've had comms on Luton's first Premier League point. Later we take you to Wembley, where Adam Catterall will bring you coverage from Zhili Zhang against Joe Joyce. Tomorrow I'll take you around the grounds. 13 different sporting events on a massive, mammoth Sunday session from 1:30. But right now it's Burnley against Manchester United. Can Erik ten Hag get Manchester United working, or will Burnley drag them through the mill? We're off and underway, live on Talksport. Manchester correspondent and former United trainee, former England defender Mickey Gray is here. How do Manchester United avoid the unthinkable?
Well, first and foremost, Sam, they have to work as hard as their opposition, which is something that they've not really done this season. We've not seen it. Yes, it's a chop and change side tonight, but the players who've been given their opportunity have got to step up to the plate, as the manager keeps asking them to every single week. But Burnley will certainly have their own their own answers in this game, because they need their first win of the season.
Manchester United playing with Scott McTominay and Casemiro as two holders in midfield, and as we thought, Fernandes right hand side, Hannibal in the 10, and Rashford on the left hand side with Højlund up top. They've won the ball high up inside opposition territory, and Rashford has got the ball down the left hand side. He's moving into the penalty area, a low ball into the near post which hits the side netting, and that might be a sign of what's to come. The Manchester United fans will certainly hope so, Mickey Gray.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, that's the bright start that Manchester United needed. Certainly playing away from home, winning the ball up high. And you touched on that system there, Sam, with Bruno Fernandes over on that right-hand side. I think he'll play narrow when they have the ball, but he does need to help Diego Dalot over on that right-hand side when they lose the ball, because if they don't, they'll get overrun. And the forward players, there's no question in a Burnley shirt, will certainly ask questions of this put-together back four of Manchester United.
Koleosho on Monday night was on fire. He took apart a World Cup winner with palpable ease, so much so that Gonzalo Montiel had to be substituted just after half-time. He, out on that left-hand side, has rapid pace, and they will be certainly wary of him. Burnley, who have claret shirts on with light blue sleeves and light blue shorts, attacking the goal away to our right in this first half. Manchester United in their third strip of all white with minimalistic dark red detail, attacking the goal towards our left. The ball floated out by Trafford towards this near side, and the birthday boy Roberts goes into midfield, plays it to Ramsey. Ramsey tries to play it beyond Casemiro, who stops the progression from Burnley inside the centre circle, and Manchester United have it back again. 0-0 the score. We've played just a little over 2 minutes and 10 seconds live on Talksport tonight from Turf Moor in Burnley. And Manchester United with Johnny Evans playing as the right of two centre-halves, Lindelof on the left. Interestingly, in the warm-up, it was the other way round. We'll see how they continue throughout the course of the game, but they have the ball on the edge of their own penalty area. Here's Andre Onana deep inside his own half. The last time that Manchester United lost their first three away games of the season in the league was back in 1973 under Tommy Docherty, and they were relegated at the end of that season. Al-Dakhil has it halfway after Burnley win it back midway inside United territory. Out on the right is Gudmundsson, sends it down into the path of Ramsey, who gets the better of Lindelof, down by the corner flag. A low ball into the near post, takes a deflection, gobbled up by Onana, who will clear, and now Evans and Lindelof have switched round again.
I don't think the two centre-halves know which side they want to play, Sam, but it was interesting the way that Burnley had the ball at the back, and they do overplay at times, but their outlet is from the goalkeeper, James Trafford, over to this right-hand side, and Marcus Rashford is not going to help track back, so it's going to be a difficult evening for Reguilon in this left-back position if Scott McTominay is not going to drift over and help him, because it looks like Marcus wants to stay alongside Rasmus Højlund in those forward positions.
Manchester United have got the ball now, and Onana has got splits for centre-backs on the edge of the penalty area, and Diego Dalot, the right-back, has gone into a midfield position just right of the centre circle. It's with Evans on the edge of his own penalty area, 0-0, live on Talksport tonight, and Onana takes a couple of steps out of his area, very comfortable with the ball at his feet, and then pumps it long right through the middle, looking for Højlund, who tries to win a header, but it's into the air by Bayer, flicked away by the second centre-half Al-Dakhil, and then it goes back to Connor Roberts in the right full-back position, and Ramsey will play it against McTominay, who's gone out to close him down. It's a throw-in in the right full-back position. They are patient, Burnley, and they are controlled. You said they overplay a little bit, and that does invite sort of a pressing mechanism from the opponents. Manchester United haven't been very good at pressing this season, but they might hunt in packs a little bit better with the energy of McTominay and Hannibal Mejbri today.
Oh, absolutely, and I think the reason Burnley do that is so they can create spaces further up the field, and at times it does work for them. They do get players into good positions.
Mejbri going down the left-hand side after being played over the top by Rashford, who darted into a left wing position. It's cleared away by Al-Dakhil and goes for a throw-in halfway between the edge of the penalty area and the byline away to our left-hand side. Quick throw from Reguilon, who was the best player in Manchester United's colours on Wednesday night against Bayern Munich. I think he showed up one or two with the energy that he displayed. He got up and down so well for Manchester United, caused problems, delivered a couple of beautiful balls into the box, created chances that weren't finished off, one for Pellistri in the first few seconds of that game. And they started the match actually okay, Manchester United, but as has often been the case, started to crumble as soon as a goal had been scored against them. Here is Reguilon playing the ball back centrally, blocked by Gudmundsson, and now it's with Roberts and then Brownhill and then Ramsey, who switches the play to the left for the first opportunity for Koleosho to run at Dallow. He comes infield instead and gives it to Charlie Taylor. Taylor went to give it back to him and decided the halfway line was probably a better idea. Playing almost as a sweeper, James Trafford is right up on the edge of the centre circle inside his own half, and he gets the ball from Bayer, and then Aldakil plays it wide to Gudmundsson, who's on halfway.
You could see as that ball was getting shifted across to the left-hand side, Bruno Fernandes was sprinting across to help out Diego Dalot, because he knew there was going to be a 1v1 situation with Koleosho, and they will get him involved in the game, Sam, there's no question of that. As of yet, they've not really been able to get the ball to him over on that left-hand side, but they're showing a lot of patience, Burnley, certainly in the back line.
Burnley 0, Manchester United 0, taken on by Bayer, who runs through the middle of the park and plays it out towards the right, and Connor Roberts is very good at carrying the ball forward. Bayer is comfortable with the ball at his feet. Missed the game against Villa with a thigh injury, but he signed permanently after a successful loan last year. He started out at Borussia Mönchengladbach in Germany. Here is Roberts trying to poke it down the right-hand side, cut out by Casemiro, deflects into the path of Hannibal, and now Rashford races towards the edge of the penalty area, lays it into Bruno Fernandes, whose shot is saved brilliantly by James Trafford from quite point-blank range. He thrust his arms into the night sky, and from a 45-degree angle manages to get a decent push on the ball to get it out of harm's way. That was a good move from Manchester United. Yeah, fantastic. Good play from Marcus Rashford. He had to wait for that run of Bruno Fernandes. Looked like he was going to end up in an offside position, but he timed it well. The first time with his left foot. You see James Trafford was in the right place at the right time, but it's been positive from the away side. There's a nervous tension in the air. You can feel it, because the Manchester United supporters know they have to win this game. Drawing it is not really an option. Losing it is unthinkable. It's 0-0, 7.5 gone. A thrilling day of action in the Premier League and beyond. I was listening to Adrian and the guys as they went round the ground earlier. All the calls coming into Gabby and to Jason were fascinating as well. I know that Faye was at Kenilworth Road for what was Luton's first point, but there was a controversial decision in that game. I know Gary O'Neill very unhappy about the award of the penalty, which led to Luton's equaliser from Carlton Morris. I must admit, I did cheer that goal, bearing in mind that it meant that I got top marks from Curse of the Commentator, and I took a lead against Ray Parlour from The Breakfast Show. We do a little game on a Friday morning with Alan Brazil, so I was delighted. You see the way Manchester United, sorry Sam for jumping in there, but you see the way Manchester United are playing now, and the ball's with Andre Onana. This is the difference from last season to this season. It's a lot slower. Now, in the press conference, Eric Ten Hag's press conference yesterday, he said we have to try and find the answers of breaking teams down. Well, I think because the slow build-up until they get to the final third is why they're finding it so difficult to score goals and to win football matches, because it gives the opposition the chance to get everybody behind the ball, whereas, albeit he's not the best with his feet, and that's why he's not at the club anymore, David De Gea, he would play those longer balls to use the pace that Manchester United had in the forward positions. I think actually the best that they've played this season is in the first few minutes of games where they've rattled teams with that pace. I mean, they even played quite well in the first 20 minutes against Brighton last Saturday and caused some issues there. On another day might have got a goal. Could have scored in the Allianz Arena early on Wednesday night. It remains 0-0. You're listening to Talksport. Burnley haven't beaten Manchester United too often, but they have done it in the Premier League before. Robbie Blake's goal in 2009 sealed all 3 points here. So they're only winning 16 meetings between the two. They're coming forward now, though, with Connor Roberts down the right-hand side, played in by Gudmundsson, just about keeps it in, delivers across towards the far post, headed down by Anthony, and it's pushed round the post by Andre Onana. Anthony with a really good, strong header from a brilliant Connor Roberts cross from the byline, and he rose and headed the ball down towards the far post, and Onana did well to get across and push it out for a corner. Well, that's a problem that Manchester United have got. Just wait until they play this corner, Sam. Here is the corner, played short, picked up on the left edge of the area by Ramsey. Back to Roberts once again. Cullen plays it down the left-hand side. It's picked up by Gudmundsson, who gets it back to Josh Brownhill, into Ramsey. He's got Roberts centrally. If he wants to use him, he does that now. He clips it forward, down towards the left. Gudmundsson will keep hold of this. And Fernandez has gone out to try and meet him. Then on the edge of the penalty area, Charlie Taylor's got beyond Hoyland. He pulls the ball into the centre. Not a great clearance by Casemiro. Comes back to Brownhill. Gudmundsson, and now Taylor, who gets one side of Fernandez, then the other. Then sends a ball into the box, which takes a deflection. Ramsey keeps it alive. Brownhill tries to steer it into the box. It's away by Hoyland, and then picked up on the edge of the area. And then Medjbri played a really casual pass and was thankful for the referee blowing the whistle and the offside flag up on this near side. This stopped Manchester United from getting themselves in more problems, but that was chaotic inside their penalty area, Mickey Gray.
And what I was going to allude to was, it's great when Manchester United lose the ball because they try and get everybody behind it, but they're so narrow, and if Burnley are quick enough with the passing, which they were in that last move, that's where they can create opportunities in the wide flanks.
0-0 the score. Both teams have had an opportunity. Bruno Fernandes' chance was saved by Trafford, and Amdoni's header saved by Onana. So both goalkeepers, as we thought they might be, quite busy. These two teams, the worst two defences in the league. Here's Medjbri down the right-hand side, played in by Rashford. Little back heel to Hoyland, couldn't turn, managed to try and lay it off to McTominay, and it was cut out by Aaron Ramsey on the edge of the penalty area, and then it swung clear by Connor Roberts out towards the far side. But again, both teams getting in very easily, Mickey.
It's such an open game, isn't it? I mean, a wonderful move again from Manchester United. Great pass from Marcus Rashford. And I have to say, Hannibal Medjbri, he started the game very bright. He's looking to get in behind. He's made some very clever runs. If he was a little bit quicker, he just needed to play that ball back towards the 6-yard area there. But you've always got Rasmus Hoyland on the move in that 6-yard area, looking for those little tap-ins, which is an added bonus to Manchester United. He obviously got his first goal, but wants to add to it in the Premier League.
12 minutes gone, listening to Talksport. It's only his second Premier League start, Hannibal Medjbri, the Tunisian international, 20 years of age, came off the bench last week to score that goal, as Mickey was saying. He was on loan at Birmingham last season. And he's very recognisable with his long, curly hair, which is trailing behind him as he chases down Josh Cullen, and the ball goes towards this near side. Vincent Kompany standing inside the technical area, arms crossed in his familiar uniform of black or dark suit with white t-shirt and Burnley baseball cap. James Trafford sends it left, and it's forward by Bayer, up into Koleosho. He does well to take it in, plays it out to the far side. It's collected by Cullen, then comes back infield, switches towards this right-hand side. Roberts has got it now on halfway. Cullen wants it back inside the centre circle. Brownhill's made a run forward, but he's going to float it out to Koleosho instead. And Koleosho now takes on Dalot, goes on the outside, see ya. Dalot goes diving in, brings him down, yellow card. That didn't take too long. 12 minutes, 51 seconds. I mean, it was the most obvious bet of the day, that.
It was as well. But we've been waiting for it at the beginning of this game, just to see if Diego Dalot had the legs and the energy and the pace to stay with the young man Koleosho on that left-hand side, where we've just been proven that he hasn't. The first time he gets the opportunity in a foot race, skips past him, Dalot has to drag him down. He's in the book, and for the rest of the game now, he's on tenterhooks.
Unreal.
I mean, the pace was fantastic, wasn't it, Sam? That's what they've got to try and do. Use that to your advantage.
Free kick to Burnley over on the left-hand side, just outside the area, floated in by Gudmundsson, headed away by the second man, who is Rashford. Comes out to Roberts on this right side towards the penalty spot, delivers the ball away by Rasmus Hoyland, brought down by Brownhill, chested it down and then volleyed the ball goalwards, but didn't catch it properly, and it just skipped off the laces and out into the stand away to our right, the cricket ground end, and it's out for a goal kick away to our right-hand side. But we've played 13 minutes, 14 minutes nearly, and Manchester United have conceded chances, created chances in equal measure, but it's been entertaining.
And there's certain individuals, I know it's still early in the game, that I want to see that little bit more desire from, Sam. I mean, Marcus Rashford, the ball's just looping in the air there. Look, he's gone back to help out, but don't just go up to make numbers. You have to go and make a point of when you're going to defend to help your teammates out. He's easy skip by. They get this shot on target. Well, if it goes just above the crossbar, actually, for Burnley, but you've got to do more out of possession.
That's been a theme of the season for Manchester United. The big characters you would expect better from have let Manchester United down in certain days. Stuart Pearce was on commentary on Wednesday night, and he was bang on with his assessment of Marcus Rashford's token gestures when tracking back the other night. I think he said at one stage he looked like he was carrying a fridge on his back. And neither Casemiro or Lisandro Martinez, when he's fit, have hit the heights of last season. There's no doubt about that either. Al-Dakhil has it for Burnley, just approaching halfway. 0-0 the score on a big night in the Premier League. Through the legs of McTominay by Ramsey, onto Amdouni. Amdouni trying to go down the right-hand side. And he went beyond McTominay, who commits a foul. It's another free kick to Burnley, this time about 20 yards outside the penalty area, away to our right-hand side. And it's about 20 yards in from the touchline too.
Well, it's another great position for Burnley to put that ball into Manchester United's 18-yard area. And Scott McTominay there, trying to do his job. He knew that he had problems when Amdouni just skips away from him, and I think it's a real concern, because Burnley are starting to go through the gears now. They're showing the quality that they do have.
Gudmundsson standing over the ball, went to hit it left-footed, then left it. Brownhill delivers a poor ball into the edge of the penalty area. Højlund didn't defend it that well. He manages to get a second chance to head it away. The referee says play on Tony Harrington as he goes down claiming he's got a head injury. Referee has allowed Burnley to get hold of the ball, and Josh Cullen has got a lot of room to run into, and he's doing just that. He plays it forward. Ramsey, edge of the area, feeds Amdouni into the box, hits the post, and Manchester United have a massive let-off. 17 minutes into the game, Burnley cut them open like a hot knife through butter, and Amdouni hitting the inside of the post, and it came back out into the box, and Manchester United just about to clear. Here they come again, Burnley. It's picked up by Ramsey towards the edge of the area. It goes to Roberts and then out to the left. Amdouni once again causing problems. Hitting the post after a header at the save from Onana in the first 11 minutes of the game. Burnley have had two great chances to open the scoring. Mickey Gray.
What a let-off. And the problems are not staying with runners, not willing to run the hard yards to help out, to clear your lines, to calm everybody's nerves. And you can sense it now in the stadium. The home support, the Burnley supporters are getting behind the players because they're loving what they're seeing. Whether they go out in the wide positions or whether they go through the middle, centre-halves have got to stay with the markers. What an opportunity there for Amdouni. We know he's banging form at the moment, and he is onside. It's a great little through ball to him. Onana's got absolutely no chance. But the centre-halves, where's the communication from these Manchester United players?
Why has Josh Cullen been able to run 25 yards through the midfield unchallenged? I mean, that was scandalous. It was so apparent from the moment he got on the halfway line, but there was just a huge amount of grass for him to run into.
Sam, you would think it was a given, and I'm sure you've heard this before, that every football player works hard. Whether you're playing poorly or whether you're having a really good game, is working hard. I'm not seeing it from individuals. There's certain individuals, and that's the problem, is they're not playing in unison, this Manchester United team. At times they're playing like individuals, whereas you see Burnley, they've got a process of how they play and how they build up, and that's why they get themselves into some very good positions. If they can finish off the chances, they'd probably be higher up the table.
And Dooney will probably end up finishing off a chance. He scored 20 goals in his final 30 appearances for Basel last season, and he's scored twice already this campaign in Burnley claret and blue. Here's Ramsey, who set that chance up for Amdouni. On the halfway line, he's lost the ball though and given it to Hannibal Mejbri. It's away by Al-Dakhil, and they've won it back on this near side, and then they've invited a race between Højlund and Roberts, which Højlund has won down this left-hand side. Højlund trying to get away from Roberts. Referee said play on. He's dived there, according to Tony Harrington. It wasn't enough for a free kick, and Burnley play on. And then Gudmundsson is pushed in the back by Reguilon. The free kick's given to Burnley, and he's not a very popular figure, Rasmus Højlund. Down in front of us, he's pleading his innocence to Tony Harrington. He's asking for a bit more from Casemiro. Manchester United do have a bit of an issue, but not as much of an issue as Burnley have. They're making a change inside the first 20 minutes of the game. Mike Trésor is coming on and Joey Gudmundsson is coming off. I can only imagine that's to do with some sort of sickness or issue that Gudmundsson already had, because I mean they're not having a particularly friendly conversation over there, Vincent Kompany and Joey Gudmundsson. I don't think it started that badly, but he's come off. He doesn't look particularly happy. I think he's ill. That's what it looks like to me.
Yeah, he's certainly got a problem, hasn't he, Sam? I mean, I don't know what was said between himself and Vincent Kompany, but they've had to make that change very early on the game, which I'm sure Vincent didn't really want to make, because certainly Burnley over the last 5 or 6 minutes have got themselves on top in this game, and they've created some very good opportunities. Should actually be in front in the game.
Yeah, they had the best chance when they hit the post through Zeki Amdouni, and Mike Trésor is on, taken on loan from deadline day from Genk. 8 goals in 48 starts for Genk. Most assists in Europe's top 10 leagues last season.
Wow.
Played in Belgian football. Roberts throws it down the right touchline. It's cut away by Reguilon into the air, into the halfway line, looking for Højlund, but it's headed clear by Josh Cullen. Then comes back down the left-hand side as Manchester United look at it. Al Dakil is there. Reguilon's got hold of it on halfway, and he goes back to Johnny Evans at the heart of the Manchester United defence. Andre Onana with the ball at his feet, being pressed by Amdouni. And then it goes out to Diego Dallo, who comes infield, switches the play to the left, is chested down midway inside his own half by Sergi Reguilon, and now here comes Rashford, moving down the left at pace. He's got Koleosho over on this near side now, so they're certainly going to have to work hard to stop him, because Trésor has gone out to that left hand side, and Koleosho is now on the right. I bet Diego Dallo is absolutely delighted about that.
Yeah, I think he will be. Look, Man United, what they're doing right now, Sam, they're keeping hold of the ball a little bit. They've not really gone through that midfield area with Casemiro, Scott McTominay, Hannibal as well, who finds himself in those midfield positions as well. I think that's where they've got to try and find a lot more space. I came here a little bit earlier on the season when they played Aston Villa, and that's exactly what Villa did. And then what happened is then the pitch got bigger, they got the wide players involved, and that's when they could create opportunities and went on to win that football match.
They play such a high line as well, Burnley. You can get in behind them. If there is a bit of space in behind that defence, if you can utilise it, and Manchester United certainly have the pace to do so. Rashford on this near side might just do that now as Fernandes swings the ball out to him. Doesn't reach him, it's away by Roberts. It's picked up by Hannibal Mejbri, and now down the left further on is Rashford, moving towards the edge of the Burnley penalty area. He goes on the outside. He takes on Aaron Ramsey, gets it back again, and then plays it infield to Scott McTominay. It's behind Casemiro, stabbed away, and then Mike Trésor has picked it up. And now's a chance to break for Burnley, who can do so in numbers. They've got Koleosho on this near side. He's found him now. He's a yard in from the touchline and in the Manchester United half of the field. They're a little bit slow to break there, Burnley, but Cullen has switched the play to the left-hand side. Fernandes has tried to stop it from reaching Charlie Taylor. He's done that. They've turned the ball over, and Hannibal's fed Højlund. Well, that was the idea. It was a bit behind the Dane, and it goes to James Trafford eventually in the Burnley goal. Both teams look a little bit lacking in confidence, Mickey.
Yeah, they do. There's some scrappy passing going on out there, I have to say. Bruno Fernandes, we're very quick to criticise him, I think, with his mannerisms and stuff, but he's working hard to get the ball back. But it's been made easy for them because Burnley, I think, is slowing things down themselves, as they're doing right in front of us.
I mean, a couple of times when they've had the opportunity to counter-attack, and they've just put the foot on the brake a little bit, haven't they?
Yeah, they have, and they're doing exactly that at the moment. And this is what I talk about when I was speaking about Manchester United. That slow build-up gives the opposition the chance to get everybody behind the ball, and it's so difficult to break teams down then. We've got to try and move through the lines a lot quicker.
Koleosho trying to get down that right-hand side. Couldn't quite poke it forward. Roberts has given it away. Casemiro has taken it, and then it's forward by Reguilon up to the halfway line where Hannibal is waiting once again. He plays it infield to Casemiro. There's lots of space for Fernandes if they can find him far side the right. They've got him inside the box now. It's Fernandes with a cross which is blocked by Charlie Taylor. Very good on Monday night against Nottingham Forest, and it goes out for a corner. It's Manchester United and Burnley at Turf Moor. 24 minutes played. Burnley 0, Manchester United 0. Live on Talksport tonight with Sam Matterface and with Mickey Gray. And it's often been an issue this season that Manchester United, with a promising start, precedes the concession of a soft goal. That almost happened here tonight. And what that does is it allows the opposition to get a grip on the game, and Ten Hag's side are then chasing, and then once again that vulnerable back line becomes exposed. They've been exposed without losing their lead in the early parts of this game, and they're coming forward now into the near post, and getting up high to head the ball in is Johnny Evans, who glances the ball in at the near post. And Burnley, who are one of the worst teams at defending set pieces in the Premier League in this early embryonic season, have conceded from yet another one, and this was basic. A free kick from the far side, a corner kick from the far side, which was floated in by Bruno Fernandes, and rising unmarked inside the penalty area was Johnny Evans on his 200th appearance for Manchester United. His first goal in Manchester United colours for almost a decade, and he's glanced the ball in, and Manchester United have the lead.
Well, it's incredible, isn't it? We all talked about Johnny Evans before the start of this game. How was he in the starting 11? And he's just come up with the perfect answer for Erik ten Hag and Manchester United. It's a fantastic whip corner into the box. There might be a question of offside here, Sam. I'm not too sure if it's going to stand, but it's a great finish from Johnny Evans, I have to say.
Was Rasmus Højlund stopping James Trafford from playing the ball? He was standing right in front of him as the corner came in. The header, he's in an offside position, and Tony Harrington has been called over to the monitor by the VAR Simon Hooper to have a look to judge whether or not he feels Højlund was getting in the way of Trafford's line of sight and affecting his ability to play the ball, and I think he was. I think he's going to rule the goal out.
Yeah, I agree with you. And if you go back to the Akanji goal for Manchester City, it was very similar, albeit he's so close to the goalkeeper, James Trafford, he can't really get sight of the ball when Johnny Evans headed down into the ground.
But he's restricting his movement.
Absolutely, yeah. I think this one's going to get chalked off, Sam.
Yeah, the referee's looked at the monitor. He's overturned the goal. It's 0-0. A let-off for Burnley, whose defending wasn't very good from set pieces and hasn't been. And a big let-off for James Trafford too. But Rasmus Højlund will be disappointed. It's the second time in 2 weeks that he's scored and had it chalked off by VAR, Mickey Gray.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's the right decision at the end of the day, isn't it? Until we saw the replay there, Sam, I wasn't expecting that. But I have to say, when the VAR came up in front of us and you could see he was in an offside position, impeding the goalkeeper, absolutely the right call.
Poor old Johnny Evans. I don't think he can remember the last time he scored in a Manchester United jersey. But he's not scoring just yet tonight. He'll have to have another go at it. Burnley get a let-off. It's still 0-0. You're listening to Talksport. And the last time he scored was January 2014 for Manchester United against Sunderland. The VAR took 1 minute and 52 seconds to deal with that particular incident, but I think they got the right decision. Højlund didn't score it, but he was the reason it was given as offside, and he will be disappointed, as Manchester United will be disappointed, that they haven't taken the lead here. Reguilón goes down under pressure from Koleosho on this near side, the right, and it's a free kick in the left full-back position. So it remains 0-0 after a VAR check ruled out Johnny Evans' goal.
Well, I think you could say both sides have had a bit of a let-off than get Sam in this game. You know, with the opportunity that Burnley had through Amdouni, should have really put the ball into the back of the net to give the home side the lead, hit the post. That was a let-off for Manchester United, and then the corner in the goal from Johnny Evans. So we're still in the balance, but as you can hear from the crowd, there's a little bit of frustration in here. It's been a little scrappy at times. Still players out there still trying to find their feet, knowing exactly what job they're supposed to be doing in the game.
It's a little bit chaotic at times, isn't it? And there's not much control from a Manchester United side that, let's be honest, spent a lot of money in the summer. And one of the new acquisitions, Reguilón, I don't think it was a planned acquisition. It was an emergency loan right at the end of the window because they'd basically run out of left full-backs, and they needed to get someone in the squad whilst Malacia and Shaw healed. Here's Bayer running through the midfield, playing it behind Amdouni, who looked to try and turn. Evans was there in his path and cleared from just on the edge of the area. Casemiro pokes it forward, finds Højlund, and Højlund runs forward towards the edge of the area. Højlund trying to get towards the edge of the box. He looks to play it left and then right. Took too many touches on the ball, gave it away. But Manchester United win it back inside the Burnley half. 0-0 the score, half an hour gone. You're listening to Talksport. Poked through by Rashford diagonally into the box. Højlund trying to turn and shoot, but sends it wide into the side netting, and it goes out for a goal kick away to our left-hand side.
There's another good opportunity there, isn't it? Two opportunities for Rasmus Højlund there. I think he took the wrong option initially. Should have played the ball out to his right-hand side to Hannibal, who was in acres of space, but he wanted to try and do it all his own. And then when he was played in the 18-yard box, he showed his strength, worked it onto that left foot of his. The angle was always a little bit tight.
Roberts has just run down the cul-de-sac. Has been robbed by McTominay, but illegally so. It's currently Burnley 0, Manchester United 0. The latest odds from Betfair, the official betting partner of Talksport's Premier League coverage, are available right now. Burnley 3-1 to go on and win the game. Manchester United evens. The draw 21-10. And don't forget, Betfair are paying out winning bets at 90 minutes with 90-minute payout. Applies to match odds, 90 market, or markets with the 90 icon. That's all thanks to Betfair. 18 plus BeGambleAware.org. Here's Koleosho running through from the right-hand side. It's centrally into the Manchester United half. He plays it left to Mike Trezor. It goes back to the edge of the box, and Ramsey swung in by Taylor, headed away by Johnny Evans, and Manchester United once again having to defend as Mike Trezor scurries out to the far touchline, wins it back for Burnley, and they look to turn it over once again. Manchester United and Burnley, the two worst defences in the top flight, meeting here, both in need of a victory. Burnley haven't had one yet. Manchester United have just had far too many defeats, and after defeats, consecutive ones to Bayern, Brighton and Arsenal, boy do they need one now.
I feel sorry for Hannibal Mejbri at times, Sam. I don't know if you've been watching him the same as me, but he's absolutely everywhere. He's having to do more than one job. He's trying to get into the 18-yard box, then he's helping out defensively. Maybe some of the more experienced players should have a look at how hard he's working.
Amdouni plays it out towards the wide right position. It's picked up by Koleosho, fancies his chance of taking on Rashford, then stops, goes back, gives it to Roberts. Infield they go towards Taylor, then Mike Trezor over on the far side, puts it through the legs of Dalot, then gets it back again from Ramsey, takes on Dalot again, goes back instead of forward, and again that just slow extra touch that Burnley take just takes the momentum out of the attack and gives Manchester United a chance to reset. Here it goes again, down to Ramsey. Brownhill, they're still on the left edge of the penalty area, attacking the goal away to our right. Brownhill's got it once again, into the box they come now. Ramsey with a shot, which takes a deflection, goes out for a corner. They took their time, tried to work their opportunity. In the end, they've won a corner out of it. I just think sometimes if they could just zip the ball a little bit faster, they might misshape Manchester United a little bit quicker.
Absolutely. It's great football. You're right, Sam. It is. The little touches, the little ones round the corner, sucking players in so they can just play it round, and then they work it into the 18-yard box and nearly get the strike away, win a corner from it. And you can see the applause, or you can hear the applause from the Burnley supporters.
The corner over on the far side. Mike Trezor will take it. It's low in towards the near post. Brownhill gets it back to Mike Trezor, who's crossing to the centre. It's flicked on by Charlie Taylor, and it goes narrowly wide of the upright. And Andre Onana just stood, stared, and looked behind him as if to say, I really hope that hasn't gone in.
I think he took a deep breath. He was stranded. When it took that deflection, he had absolutely no chance if that was on target.
Corner on the far side then. This one maybe slightly different delivery. That was a low one into Brownhill's feet. Again, it's low towards that near post. It wasn't very good, and it's away by Bruno Fernandes and cleared away. It remains 0-0. You're listening to Talksport. Burnley looking for their first points home of the season. And their only points so far came on the road when they managed to get on the scoreboard at Nottingham Forest City Ground on Monday night with us. It was a really good opening encounter. This one's been an entertaining encounter. I'm not sure that Manchester United will be particularly happy about it because it has been very chaotic and very open. Here goes Ramsey down the left-hand side, looking to dart down into the wing position. It's going to run off the turf and go out for a goal kick away to our left. This is Talksport.
So what are we now? 33, 34 minutes into this game, Sam. And as the game's progressed and moved on, from a Manchester United perspective, I'm still wondering where Bruno Fernandes is supposed to be playing, where Hannibal Mejbri is supposed to be playing. Not when they have the ball, when they don't have the ball. They are trying to help out over on that right-hand side. And Burnley, on the other hand, if you look at the way the game is, if they can get the ball out wide, they're going to cause United a lot of problems with the quality that they have.
They're just taking too long to do that. Here's Rashford down the left-hand side, darting into the box, trying to take on Roberts. It's half cleared. Reguilon into the centre, blocked by Koleosho, and goes out on this near side. If you want boxing that packs a punch, then we are the place to bring it to you. From 10 o'clock tonight, Zhili Zhang against Joe Joyce. Looking forward to it. Adam Catterall leading our team tonight, a huge team. Here is Fernandez on the edge of the area, striking the ball. It bounces off Bayer, goes back in from Reguilon towards Casemiro, scored twice in the Allianz. And further away by Ramsey and up to the halfway line. At Manchester United just keeping the pressure on a little bit here. And here is Johnny Evans in the centre circle waiting for an outlet. Yeah, that undercard, by the way, of that huge fight tonight is already underway on Talksport 2, which you can get on our app if you just flick between the two stations. Andy Clark commentating, Gareth A. Davis is there, Carl Froch is there, Spencer Oliver. Top team tonight for big-time boxing. Big-time Premier League action for you now as Manchester United look to try and get their first win on the road this season. And they have it inside Burnley territory, and they've kept possession here well. Dallow's gone into a midfield position from right full-back. And it's with Lindelof and then McTominay, and then wide to the left, and Marcus Rashford, who's halfway inside Burnley territory, over on the left. I mean, what I don't understand here is that Dallow's gone into a central midfield position and Casemiro has gone out to the right wing. Surely it would just be more economical in terms of movement for Dallow to stay on the right-hand side and Casemiro to try and get involved in the middle.
You're completely right. I mean, I was just about to say, if they give the ball away where they are, Manchester United now, they're in trouble. Burnley have got 5 players in the opposition's half, and Manchester United are still playing it around at the back. Earlier on in the game, Sam, Diogo Dalot, he was more playing like a right winger, wasn't he? I mean, we saw an inverted fullback last season from Manchester City and then Liverpool a little bit later on.
You don't all have to do it, though. It's not like, one person does it and then everyone has to follow.
Casemiro should not be over there on the right-hand side. He should be central where he is now, winning the ball back. That's what he's good at. That's why he's had such an amazing career.
And he's done it twice, and now Manchester United have picked it up with Rashford moving towards the edge of the penalty area. But Connor Roberts, who has had a really good start to the season, has nipped in again, won the ball, and it's cleared by Brownhill. Didn't get great distance on that clearance, and Amdouni looks a little bit isolated at times up there. Maybe needs a little bit of support. And the early substitution of Gudmundsson didn't help Burnley, I don't think. He is one of the few players that is still a hangover from the old Sean Dyche era, isn't he? Still has that grit and the determination. It's a very different Burnley team now to the one that was last in the Premier League. I do like Bayer and Taylor over on that left-hand side of the Burnley defence. They've really come into their own in the last couple of games.
Yeah, they certainly have. And I mean, in Charlie Taylor, who at times played centre-half for Burnley last season, but then if he wasn't playing centre-half, he wasn't really in the team because they had Maatsen from Chelsea. Sam, I'm certain, is a player that you know.
Yeah.
So he really struggled, but now they've jumped up a league and he's playing every single week. So credit to him, the way he's looked after himself. But as you're right, he looks comfortable and confident on the ball.
Ball sent long over the halfway line. It's won by Koleosho and then picked up by Brownhill. The second ball down the right it goes. Amdouni has moved out there. Didn't see Koleosho. The Mejbri was coming behind him, and they've tried to win the ball high up, and they've done that. Cullen's got it to Koleosho on the edge of the area. His right-footed shot goes through the legs of Johnny Evans. He dragged it wide. It goes about 6 yards wide of the goal. And Burnley have had their chances in this game, and arguably the better ones, bearing in mind that Fernandez's chance and the first 10 minutes of the game unsettled Burnley for a second, but it was a good save by Trafford. Amdouni had a header which was saved by Onana before he had a shot that hit the base of the post. Then Manchester United thought they'd scored, only for Rasmus Højlund to be standing in the way of the goalkeeper, and Johnny Evans' goal was chalked off. So it's still 0-0. It's Talksport at Turf Moor. Cullen forward, edge of the penalty area, getting himself into a bit of a tight spot that goes wide to Koleosho. No one really to aim at in the centre, and Manchester United got bodies back. He plays the ball on the edge of the area. There's no one there to get on the end of it, and it's cleared away. Not entirely sure what the ooh was for. It was just a ball across the edge of the 18-yard box.
Hoping for miracles, I think, aren't they? But there was just everybody had kind of ran into the 18-yard box there, and they were waiting for that final pass, but it was played behind everybody, and Bruno Fernandes give the ball away.
Bayer's given the ball away to Bruno Fernandes, and then his ball is given straight to Mike Trésor, and that's been sort of the tail of the tape, really. Neither of these two teams look particularly in great form, but here is Mike Trésor moving down the left. He's a yard or so in from the left touchline. He starts cutting in now, plays it to Amdouni, who's on the edge of the penalty area, lays it back to Trésor, who switches the play out to Koleosho. He's got to commit the full-back here. He comes inside, then tries to go on the outside, holds onto it for a long time, gives it to Brownhill, changes the angle for Roberts now, who could try to attack. He plays a 1-2, gets to the byline, produces a cross into the near post, touched away by Johnny Evans. And again, a lack of real clarity in their attacking plan there. Since Koleosho's come out to this near side, it's sort of negated him and his threat, really. Ball played in the inside channel. Brownhill trying to get the better of Medjbri. Plays it against Johnny Evans, who comes back off Brownhill and goes out for a goal kick away to our right-hand side. You're listening to Talksport, 5 minutes before half-time. It's Burnley 0, Manchester United 0. It's a game Manchester United quite simply have to win, Mickey Gray.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think at times you can see they're maybe over-trying, because it's given the opportunity to Burnley to now break out. They're making those 2v1 situations, certainly in the wide flanks. And when they do that, that's where they look a threat. But I think that final ball, certainly set pieces from Burnley as well, they've hit the first man on 3 or 4 occasions. If they can improve that, their opportunities in front of goal will certainly start to get better. But they're showing signs of real quality. But Koleosho, I'm with you, Sam. I think he's better on that left-hand side.
He's coming running through the middle of the pitch now, and he's taken on 3 players. Got to the edge of the penalty area. He's brought down inside the D. The referee says play on, and Manchester United look to counter, and they move the ball very quickly. It's 4-on-3 if they can get this right, and they do. Bayer went steaming in. Fernandez touched it forward. Al-Dakhil covered brilliantly and takes the ball to the far side, and Burnley survive. It remains 0-0 on Talksport. Ramsey harassed by Casemiro. Free kick given 10 yards outside the box.
Well, that's a let-off. It's a let-off for Burnley. You could see it was a wonderful break from Manchester United. Hannibal Mejbri picking up that ball. I think he should have tried to play Rasmus Højlund, who was in a more advanced position than what Bruno Fernandes was. He went to play it to Fernandes, whose first touch kind of got away from him a little bit. And the opportunity had gone, but you could see how cool and calm the Burnley defenders were. They were trying to play out from the back. Yeah, at the end they give the ball away, but so relaxed on the ball, as if there's no panic there whatsoever.
Just before that, a very dynamic and high-octane Koleosho really did show a flash of his abilities when he took on 3 United players. Here's Ramsey bursting forward, edge of the box, right-footed shot, saved by Onana from the edge of the penalty area. And he gathers it at the second attempt after passing it down initially. Never really in much trouble there, Onana. It was quite close to him. He just took a step to his left, and it was an easy save for the Cameroon goalkeeper, who made a big mistake against Bayern. He is United's first new number 1 for 12 years. Got to the Champions League final with Inter last season. He had a 72% save ratio last campaign in Serie A. But he does increase the heart rate every now and again. And he certainly got the blood pumping after the game, after the goal that he conceded in the Allianz on Wednesday night.
Here we go again, Sam. Is what I keep talking about. Every time I see Manchester United play now, I class as more of a counter-attacking team. Everything slows down. When Andre Onana picks that ball up, he wants to have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 touches on the ball. And it just gives everybody, the opposition, the chance to get everybody behind the ball. And there's a little bit of panic there as well.
You can understand the idea behind it. He's very comfortable with the ball at his feet. He thinks he can take someone out of the game, because they'll press him, he'll jink to the left or the right, they're a chess piece that then is not available to the opposition. That means there's space somewhere else up the field. That's why they're doing it. I just don't think a lot of the other players are that used to it yet.
No, well, they're not. Look, and there is certain goalkeepers that are wonderful with their feet. You know, I don't really want to make a comparison with Ederson. Well, he's very clever with his left foot, isn't he? But he'll have 2 or 3 touches. If there's nobody on, then he'll look for that longer ball. And they've got those willing runners, Manchester City. And I think Man United have got them at their disposal, but they just have to do it a little bit more.
They'll have to do it a little bit quicker. There was a prime example. The ball was played to Lindelof. He moves about midway inside his own half. Both Rashford and Højlund had the opportunity to be played over the top, because Burnley had squeezed up to the halfway line. Instead of getting that ball in behind and seeing if they could go in a foot race with the central defenders, they declined it. So they'd made their run and had to come back again. Here is Koleosho down the right-hand side for Burnley, moving up towards the edge of the penalty area. He's stopped this time as he plays the ball infield. Rashford looks to try and escape over the halfway line. Wants a free kick, so he stops, looks at the referee, who obliges, gives him that on halfway. It's a Manchester United ball. We've got a minute before half-time.
Well, I think it was a soft free kick. I have to say, I think Marcus just runs, he loses his balance a little bit. Yes, there's a coming together, but use your strength. Try and shove the fullback away from the ball if you possibly can. I just think that just boils down to a little bit of frustration from Marcus, who I think's not been involved in the game as much as he wanted to in this first 45 minutes.
Maybe Burnley are yet to win this season, but they have given teams a bloody nose here, scoring against both Aston Villa and Tottenham. And those two defences are better than Manchester United's at the moment. And this game certainly still very much in the balance as we approach half-time. We think there'll be 3 minutes added at the end of this first 45. Gareth Southgate is here. I think he was at the Manchester City game a little bit earlier on today watching. And Adrian Durham was in attendance. Adrian did tell me he was going to come and watch this game as well. Has anyone seen him?
No, I've not seen it.
Not yet. Ball is towards the right-hand side. Bruno Fernandes on the volley. Oh, it's a brilliant goal from Bruno Fernandes. A ball floated from deep over the top of the Burnley defence. And a first-time finish as the ball dropped over his shoulder from Bruno Fernandes across the goalkeeper and into the corner of the net. And Manchester United now do lead by 1-0. Bruno Fernandes with the goal. It was a very good finish from a talented player. In games like this, he always comes alive. And that was a terrific finish.
Absolutely outstanding from Bruno Fernandes. He was involved in the move, and when that ball got played over the top, you could see his eyes just never veered away from the ball. And it's absolutely fantastic. Catches it on the volley, keeps it low, gives James Trafford absolutely no chance. It's a super finish. I'm not a big fan of Fernandes playing out that right-hand side, but I think he's created quite a lot in his first half. That is a top-class finish. What a goal.
Now, you've got to talk about the quarterback ball from Johnny Evans. He's on the halfway line. He takes a couple of steps to his left and lifts a beautiful ball high up over the Burnley defence, and just shading in front of the fullback, Bruno Fernandes comes round the back and volleys the ball across the goalkeeper and in.
It's perfect, isn't it, Sam? From Johnny Evans to Bruno Fernandes.
Here come Burnley, though, at the other end of the pitch with Ramsey trying to get forward. It's headed away by Casemiro and it's out towards this near side. Manchester United now finding themselves in front in a game that they have to win, and Burnley finding themselves behind again. And all of a sudden the pendulum of pressure switches to the other dugout. There was a big cheer from Erik ten Hag when that goal went in from Bruno Fernandes. It was a terrific finish, brilliant technique, and just what Manchester United needed in first half stoppage time. Burnley 0, Manchester United 1. It's been quite an even game up until that point. Manchester United now have got the lead, and Burnley have got to try and find a way to respond, Mickey.
Yeah, absolutely. Just got to keep their nerve. There's a long time to go in this game. Don't really need to change too much the home side, because they've played some decent football at times, but I do think that they have to get that ball in those wide areas. I think there might be a change in the two wide players when we come out in the second half. I think you'll have Trezor maybe come over to this right-hand side, but you've got to get Koleosho over on that left-hand side if Burnley are going to cause Manchester United problems at the back.
On it back, Fernandes inside opposition territory. This time it was Brownhill who was guilty of giving the ball away. He comes back to the midfield area, and it's with Johnny Evans across to Lindelof. All of them on the halfway line now, the Manchester United defence. 48 minutes played. That's the 3 done as we approach half-time live on Talksport. There's another ball over the top for Fernandes to send into Højlund over the top of the crossbar this time. I think the offside flag would have gone up, but we did say there was space in behind that Burnley defence, and that's twice in 2 minutes now that they've exposed that space in behind and caused Burnley serious issues.
Well, if Burnley don't sort that out, then Manchester United are going to add to the lead. It's a real problem because Bruno Fernandes over on that right-hand side is just making that willing run. This time, yes, he's in an offside position, but it's alarming how much space he's getting. Puts a beautiful ball in for Højlund, stretching forward a little bit with his left foot. And again, you're just thinking, keep that below the crossbar and you've got a chance of getting your first Premier League goal.
Here is Koleosho going down the right. It's cut out by McTominay, and it's picked up on halfway by the Scotsman who plays it in field. He's under a little bit of pressure and lays it back towards halfway. We've now played nearly 49 minutes. The referee, Tony Harrington, just checking his watch. He will now blow the whistle. Well, a defeated side, a frustrated fan base, but maybe this might be a little bit more encouraging for Manchester United, who recovered from an early setback. 2 great chances for Burnley that wasn't taken. And then a goal scrubbed off by the VAR after Johnny Evans thought he'd scored on his 200th appearance for Manchester United. He did then provide the opening, setting up Bruno Fernandes, whose technique was special as he rammed the ball in on the volley as it went in from a 45-degree angle to give Manchester United a half-time lead. It's Burnley 0, Manchester United 1.
And actually, Mickey Gray, I don't think Manchester United would have wanted the half-time whistle to go just then, because it felt as if once that goal went in, their tails were up.
Yeah, you're right, Faye. You know, you could see the confidence starting to flow through the veins of the players. They were enjoying the football. There was a lot of gaps creating for them, certainly in the Burnley half. And that's what they've worked that first 45 minutes for, to create those chances. But there's been so many mistakes, hasn't there? I mean, Manchester United could have found themselves a goal behind. Real good opportunity from Anduni. Then they do put the ball in the back of the net with Johnny Evans, though the VAR gets involved. So they had to wait till late in that first half, but it was worth waiting for. It was a great pass from Johnny Evans, but what a finish from Bruno Fernandes.
Producer Sam said a goal better than the quality of the game, which made me chuckle because it absolutely was. Just press stop now. I mean, Burnley fans won't want that, obviously,
no,
but it's been quite scrappy, hasn't it?
Yeah, and it's frustrating at times because, you know, you're watching and we know that the players, they're not trying to make these mistakes, but when you're down at the bottom of the table like Burnley are, they're going to make those mistakes. You've just got to try and work your way through. And you can say the same about Manchester United. You know, they haven't found that winning formula, really. You know, if you take away the Wolves and the Nottingham Forest game, they've really struggled. But at times they show that quality, and that's what we want to see more of. Maybe this is why Vincent Kompany showed a little bit of frustration this season in saying this is why we've not had the wins. And again, you could say that about Erik ten Hag. He's saying we've played well for certain amounts of a game, but we need a 90-minute performance. Well, maybe they're going to get it tonight.
Yeah, it's the Premier League, though, isn't it? And actually, Burnley were pretty impressive at the beginning of the match. Anduni hit the post, had a header saved by Onana as well, but it felt like they lost their momentum a little bit when Gudmundsson had to come off early in the first half.
Yeah, the balance of the team. Koleosho had to come over to the right-hand side. He's had a couple of decent little runs, but I think he's better on that left, where he can cut in on his right foot, or he can then jink past Diogo Dalot like he did when Dalot got the yellow card. So I think that's something that Vincent might certainly have a look at in the second half, maybe switch over the two wide players and put Trezor over on the right-hand side. Well, they've caused Man United problems. I think that midfield area is still a problem for Manchester United, because you've seen certain midfield runners, Brownhill running through and past 3 or 4 midfield runners, and I think Josh Cullen's done it on a couple of occasions as well. So there's going to be chances for the home side in the second 45.
Yeah, there certainly is. Just want to quickly mention the Johnny Evans disallowed goal. I mean, it was a cracking header, first of all, from the corner, but it looked like I think we'd all decided, you decided in commentary, us back here at Talksport Towers had also looked at it and decided we could understand, you know, why it was ruled out. Bit of a let-off for Burnley, really, but Højlund was in front of James Trafford, and PGMOL have confirmed that the decision was subjective because it was for a potential impact on the goalkeeper, so the referee had to be sent to the monitor, and that was the decision he made.
Yeah, and I brought up in the first half the Akanji when he stood in front of the goal for Manchester City. It was a little bit different, I know, because Akanji wasn't as close to the goalkeeper as Rasmus Højlund was in this situation. So if there's bodily contact from Højlund on James Trafford, then you can understand why the referees had to go across to have a look on the monitor. But I think when we saw it back, there was no doubt in my mind that he had to chalk that goal off.
Yeah. Just one final one, Mickey, before I let you go and get yourself a cuppa and wrap yourself up warm, because I know how cold it gets at Turf Moor. I mean, anybody questioning why Johnny Evans was re-signed by Manchester United can get back in their box, can't they?
Yeah, well, us included as well, I have to say. But he's had a very good first half. He's made an impact. Defensively, he's done very well. And obviously offensively as well. I mean, it would have been a brilliant story if that goal had have counted for him. But yeah, I think he played very well in the first half.
Certainly did. Right, go and get yourself warm, at least for 5 minutes anyway. You're listening to Game Day Exclusive on Talksport. Hope you're enjoying this late Saturday night kickoff. Burnley 0, Manchester United 1. Second half action coming next.
Game Day Exclusive on Talksport with Now. Stream the Premier League live without a contract from $11.99. Search Now Sports. 18 plus. Stream via internet. Terms apply.
Screwfix Sprint delivers from store to door in 60 minutes or less. So, whatever the job, you can do it with less stalling and more sawing, less drive time and more site time. So don't break your stride. Screwfix Sprint. Order now exclusively on a Screwfix app. £5 delivery charge, no minimum spend. Don't stop. Sprint. Conditions and geographical restrictions apply. Selected products.
Friend, for all of yourselves, we have all of your faves on Just Eat. From your wading through work self to your late night munchy self. Help those selves to a smooth Costa coffee latte, a perfect Domino's pepperoni passion, a freshly made Five Guys All-American cheeseburger, a classic Pizza Express American hot, and a delish McDonald's Big Mac. So take yourself from a 6 to a 9.9. We got it.
Did somebody say Just Eat?
Subject to availability and store opening times. Service charges and other charges apply. See justeat.co.uk for more details.
We all fantasize about our perfect home. Sipping a morning coffee out on the terrace. Good morning, Mr. Squirrel.
Morning.
The kids building a treehouse in the garden.
I'm living my perfect childhood.
But come on, this isn't real. Listen, if you're serious about making your fantasy a reality, find out what your home is worth instantly with a free online valuation estimate. Get real about moving. Get on the market. Most common time to obtain an online quote between 1st of June 2022 and 30th of September 2022 is under 3 minutes. Excludes Northern Ireland.
The Monopoly game is back at McDonald's. And guess what? It's still twice as nice. Because with double peel, you can peel on pack, then peel again on the McDonald's app to win prizes like brand new mini electrics, lovely McDonald's food, HP Omen gaming laptops, TUI holiday vouchers, £1,000 in cash, plus tons of other incredible prizes. 18 plus UK only. Selected items subject to serving times and availability. End 17th of October. Gameplay and prize claims may require McDonald's app. See mcdrules.co.uk.
With the transfer window closed, it's now properly game on. Get the ultimate football coverage with the Sun's free pull-out goals. With the best writers pitchside for in-depth match reports, it's all about goals. And with unrivaled news from the Premier League to League Two, it has to be goals. Stay up to date on all the latest football action. Get your free copy of Goals every Saturday, Sunday and Monday only in The Sun.
In sport, what's just as important as the goals, the glory, the roar of the crowd? Yes, it's the half-time break. Time for a breather, a reset to keep everything on track. In sports betting, Betfair's safer gambling tools help you do that too, like timeouts, so you take that all-important half-time break, or deposit limits to help you keep count. Manage your play at safergambling.betfair.com. Simple ways to stay on top of your game with Betfair.
18 plus begambleaware.org.
Hark, the goals are calling. Game day.
It's the ultimate heavy-hitting Premier League experience.
Game day exclusive.
On Talksport.
It is ironic, really, isn't it, that it is in Lancashire's heart that Manchester United need to show they still have one. Honor Roberts down the right-hand side, played by Goodmanson, just about keeps it in, delivers across towards the far post, headed down by Anthony, and it's pushed round the post by Andre Onana. Alan has got a lot of room to run into, and he's doing just that. He plays it forward. Ramsey, edge of the area, feeds Andoni into the box, hits the post, and Manchester United have a massive let-off.
And that's the problem, is they're not playing in unison, this Manchester United team. It's at times they're playing like individuals.
Into the near post and getting up high to head the ball in is Johnny Evans, who glances the ball in at the near post.
There might be a question of offside here, Sam. I'm not too sure if it's going to stand.
Was Rasmus Højlund stopping James Trafford from playing the ball? He was standing right in front of him.
One's going to get chalked off, Sam.
Yeah, the referee looked at the monitor. He's overturned the goal. It's 0-0. Ball is towards the right-hand side. Bruno Fernandes on the volley. Oh, it's a brilliant goal from Bruno Fernandes. In games like this, he always comes alive. And that was a terrific finish.
Absolutely outstanding from Bruno Fernandes.
Yeah, top bit of quality in what wasn't necessarily the highest of quality 45 minutes we've ever seen. This is Game Day exclusive on Talksport. Faker Others with you. Second half action coming up very shortly. Manchester United leading Burnley by 1-0 at Turf Moor. Let's get the latest, shall we, from Betfair, the official betting partner of Talksport's Premier League coverage.
Game day on Talksport with Betfair. Get a hand from Betfair's popular bet builder and easily add our fan favourite football selections to your bet slip. Terms and conditions apply. See support.betfair.com. 18 plus begambleaware.org.
Sam Rosbottom, how are the odds looking now Manchester United have got themselves in front?
Yeah, it has to be expected, Faye. They've been backed in now, so they were favourites before the game and they've been backed into 2-7 to take all 3 points. Burnley have gone out to 11-1. The draw currently 15-4. Rasmus Højlund very, very close to getting on the score sheet, putting one over the bar just before the break. He's 11-4 to score in the second half. It was Bruno Fernandes that got the opener, which was great news for our charity bet. We're raising money for the Bobby Moore Fund. We've got Man United to win, both teams to score, Fernandes to score any time. So 1 out of 3 so far. We back that at just over 6-1. Our £50 charity stake will return £356 to the Bobby Moore Fund if Burnley get a goal and United win. So fingers crossed.
Indeed. Thank you very much, Sam. That odds update, all thanks to Betfair, returns accurate as of 10 minutes ago. For verification, see betfair.com. Over 18s only. Conditions apply. Go to begambleaware.org.
Game day on Talksport with Betfair. Get a hand from Betfair's popular bet builder and easily add our fan favourite football selections to your bet slip. Terms and conditions apply. See support.betfair.com. 18 plus. Begambleaware.org.
Let's find out what's been going on in the Rugby World Cup today, shall we? Half-time in Pool B. Big match in Paris between Ireland and South Africa. David Brady, how's it gone?
Yeah, it's Ireland 7, South Africa 3. The world number 1 side against the reigning world champions, and this one's certainly living up to expectations despite the low scoring. Out half Manny Libbok slotted an early penalty to open the scoring for South Africa as Ireland lost their first 4 lineouts. Hugo Keenan's break down the left almost led to an Ireland try. Damien de Allende was then held up just short for South Africa before the only try so far went Ireland's way on 33 minutes. Johnny Sexton turned down a penalty opportunity, kicked to the corner. Ireland recycled well, and James Lowe's long pass sent fellow winger Mac Hansen over on the right wing, with Sexton converting superbly. It's been hugely physical, as we expected. South Africa with 7 forwards on the bench, just 4 points between the sides at the break. Half-time at Stade de France. Ireland 7, South Africa 3.
Thank you very much, David. Earlier on this evening in the 5:30 Premier League kick-off, it finished Brentford 1, Everton 3 in what could be a crucial result for the Toffees this season. Everton manager Sean Dyche told our reporter Sam Ellard after the match, winning football games is the best way to silence the negativity.
The storyline, you know yourself, you create it, you don't mean to, but if you don't win, people actually start doing that weird thing. They go, they've been poor this season. You go, no, we haven't. We haven't been poor. But that's what the storyline changed to. And I reminded the players that. No one really cares. I said it in the week. No one cares about how you're performing. They just want to win. That's it. The media are just the same. I'm used to it. You know, talk about all your performances, talk about all the challenges, talk about injuries and all the rest of it. They just want to win. And when you win, it reinforces good on-pitch behaviours, good performances, even though good performances might have been there. We've stepped off it twice this season, that's fine. But the other performances have been strong this season.
We talk about good performances at Talksport, I promise you, Sean.
Oh, I'm sure you do.
I know you're a big fan of Talksport.
Of course.
Brilliant stuff from Sean Dyche. He's right. That's exactly what happens. It happens with Luton Town as well. First Premier League point for them today against Wolves, which is our Talksport 2 commentary earlier on. We'll hear from Brentford manager Thomas Frank a little bit later in the show. Interested to hear what he has to say. Bearing in mind that game was finally poised at 1-1 for quite a long time. That game was fascinating, Mickey Gray, wasn't it? It was, I think a lot of people surprised maybe to see all 3 points go Everton's way.
Especially away from home as well, Faye. Maybe they felt a little bit less pressure than playing in front of the home supporters, but it was a very good performance from Sean Dyche's side. You can see they had a little bit of energy about them as well, and I don't think anybody expected to overrun this Brentford team, but that's a big 3 points, first win of the season, and they definitely needed it.
Yep, certainly is. I can hear the teams on their way back out at Turf Moor ahead of the second half. Don't forget, following us, Fight Night Live comes from Wembley Arena. Zhang versus Joyce 2. You can watch along on YouTube with our top team of pundits as well. Carl Froch, part of the team, currently watching him sitting next to Spencer Oliver. Tune in from 10 o'clock tonight. Right, United had their tails up, didn't they, as they went into that dressing room at half-time. Can they capitalise on the momentum in the second half? Or Burnley pile more misery on Eric Ten Hag after a tricky couple of weeks? Let's find out with Mickey Gray and Sam Matterface.
Yeah, welcome back to the commentary box at the back row of the main stand here at Burnley. The good news for Manchester United is that they are unbeaten in their last 136 Premier League games when they've been winning at half-time. They've won 117 of those. The last time they were beaten, when they were leading at the break, was, do you remember?
No.
Leicester City away from home 5-3 in September 2014. is live on Talksport.
And who played?
Jenny Vardy played. I think Angel Di Maria scored a very good goal during that game. His high point, his high watermark.
The little dink.
Yeah, it was absolutely superb, wasn't it? Yeah. And since then, they've been pretty reliable when it comes to hanging on to a victory, which they look like getting at half-time. And no changes, I don't think, at half-time for either of these two teams. Manchester United in white will attack the goal away to our right-hand side in the second half. And it's the claret and blue of Burnley who need to find a way back. How do they do that?
Well, I have to say, Sam, I'm really surprised that they've not changed the two wide players over as the players have just set up in the second half. So you still have got Koleosho over on that right-hand side, and you've got Trezor over on this left-hand side. That's a big surprise for me, but I also would ask the question of Manchester United, do you try and sit on a one-goal lead? I don't think you can do that, but it's going to be interesting to see how they approach this game in the second 45 minutes. Do they try and capitalise and try and get that second goal, or they try and play this game out with a lot of possession? Because at the moment I don't think they've got the quality in their ranks to hold on to a lead and just sit back and maybe soak up the pressure that Burnley bring on them.
It's amazing because there was a behind closed doors friendly between these two in the first week of the season, and Koleosho had a field day. Burnley won 3-0 that afternoon. Much changed Manchester United side from what we were expecting, but actually I think it was very similar to this one.
Yeah. Just with Burnley taking the lead. Fortunately for them tonight, it's gone the other way.
Trafford has it deep inside his own half. I'll run through the 2-11s for you just a second. Manchester United defending the goal away to our left. Evans does well and heads the ball forward. It was a beautiful assist, by the way, by Johnny Evans for the goal. Terrific finish for Bruno Fernandes over the shoulder of the defender and into the far corner. It remains 1-0 to Manchester United. Burnley have got James Trafford in goal, the England under-21 international goalkeeper. The back four is Conor Roberts, Amin Al-Dakil, Jordan Beyer and Charlie Taylor. Josh Cullen and Josh Brownhill, the two anchors in midfield, with Ramsey pushing further forward. Mike Trezor and Koleosho are the two wingers. Koleosho now on the right-hand side, which has just muted him a little bit. And Zeki Amdouni leads the line, but he does come from deep. He's almost like a false nine, isn't he, Mickey?
Yeah, he is, because that's the position he wants to play, and he's obviously been asked to play that role. Is the lone striker tonight because of the suspension for Foster.
They miss him, don't they, tonight?
Yes,
they miss
do.
that aerial presence. I was in the concourses at half-time, and a lot of the Burnley fans just bemoaning the fact that they didn't have that presence through the centre of the pitch, and they were quite quick to articulate that they didn't think that this lot were now special. They're referring to Manchester United, I think.
Well, they have got, I think Jay Rodriguez is on the bench, isn't he? I'm sure, yeah. I mean, so they've got that focal point if they want it. Vincent Kompany stuck with, I would say, the 11. I know they've made the change. Goodmanson's gone off with the injury, I think, that he had, but they've stuck with what he had. So he's obviously quite content in the way that they've been playing in the game so far, Burnley.
They slow it down too quickly for me when they get to the edge of the penalty area. Amdouni trying to go beyond Casemiro, who dives in a little bit and gives away a free kick, which Brownhill wanted to take quickly. It's just in front of the centre circle. Goes left to Charlie Taylor. Now space on this near side for Trezor. His touch was poor, and they've given the ball away as a result of that. Charlie Taylor swiped the ball out towards this near side, but it's going to be a Manchester United throw. So it's Burnley 0, Manchester United 0. Manchester United with a Nana in goal, made a good save from Amdouni in the first half. Dallow's the right back, he's been booked. Lindelof, Evans and Reggie on the back four. Then it's McTominay and Casemiro. And then Bruno Fernandes on the right-hand side. Hannibal behind Rasmus Højlund and Rashford out on the left. Here is Bruno Fernandes nodding the ball forward, the goal scorer and captain for Manchester United. Picked up by Hannibal Mejbri, who's been darting around quite a lot. You were right in the first half when you say it gets through a lot of work, Hannibal Mejbri. I wonder how much of that is controlled, sensible work, pressing in the right areas, or whether he's maybe trying to do just a little bit too much. He certainly showed up one or two others whose work rate wasn't quite up to his standard.
I have to agree with you. I actually thought he played very well in the first half, Sam. He got himself into some very good positions, but I do think when you're playing in that, it's the top of a diamond really, isn't it? He's playing in that position, but he's helping out defensively as well. His energy levels have been fantastic, albeit the quality's not been there at times, but at least he's willing to show.
Ball down the right. Manchester United win a throw-in down by the corner flag, away to our right-hand side, attacking the goal in front of their supporters, looking for their first away win of the campaign. Manchester United trying to avoid yet another disappointing evening on their travels. Ball thrown in towards the near post. It's headed away by initially Jordan Bayer, then further clear by Taylor, back with Dallo on this right side, and then Ramsey does well to take the ball off Fernandes. It then ends up going out and away for a corner kick down by the right hand side, and Fernandes has it in his hands once again.
Well, it's still an open game, isn't it, without really seeing any quality in this second half as of yet. Burnley have got to try and get themselves back on level terms as quick as they possibly can, and I think the way they do that is they try and break down Manchester United with moving the ball quicker, as you touched on earlier, Sam. They have to do that. They've got to start creating space for themselves, and it's about Manchester United staying switched on.
McTominay trying to hold and shield the ball inside the penalty area from a delivery from the right-hand side. Dallo, low ball in towards the near post, and Højlund was arriving and couldn't quite get on the end of it. Went sliding in at that near post and couldn't get a touch, which would certainly have yielded him another goal in Manchester United's colours. Back towards the left it goes, collected by Reguilon. Delivery into the box, which is headed away by Al-Dakhil, and then Lindelof sends it to Dallo, and then Dallo sends it back on. It's given away by Lindelof, and now there's a chance to break, and they need to do so at pace here, Burnley. Brownhill's picked it up centre circle, goes to the left again. It's just a little bit slow. Ramsey jinks between two midfield players, plays it into Mike Trésor. Out wide it goes to Amdouni. Amdouni centrally now, no one in the centre waiting for a delivery. Amdouni's moved out towards this left-hand side. They lack a focal point here, Burnley, and that was a really good opportunity to test the Manchester United defence when it was out of shape and they'd given the ball away cheaply, and they just took too long.
Yeah, it's definitely too slow, isn't it? They've got to get their head up quicker. They've got to look for that forward pass, and then you need the willing runners in those forward positions to then break in behind Manchester United's back line, and if they don't do that, the harder it's going to become the more that this game continues.
Still 1-0 to Manchester United away from home at Turf Moor. Their away record was pretty poor last season. Hasn't been that great this season, to be honest with you.
Is it 18 and 35 they've lost or something, Sam?
Correct.
It's incredible.
Here is Mike Trésor down the left, looking to chase into the wing position. He's followed by Johnny Evans, sits out of play and away for a throw in to Manchester United. Evans has actually done very well, I think, tonight, alongside Lindelof in the heart of the defence. He hasn't put a foot wrong. His partner has made a couple of errors, but he's been okay up until this point.
Well, I don't think he'll have been thanking Diego Dalot for the pass he actually got. Victor Lindelof in that situation, it was fired at him, wasn't it? And he couldn't really do anything about it. You're right, he just looks a little bit nervy at times, doesn't he? As if the manager's had a word with him from the last game just to say, look, you need to up your game or you're not going to be in my starting 11.
Rashford running down the left, and he was doing so at real pace, then stopped the ball, came back in field. They have it on halfway, Manchester United, and they lead by a Bruno Fernandes goal to 0. United should feel confident, having won their last 8 Premier League fixtures against newly promoted opposition. 17 of their last 24 league games against teams coming up from the Championship. Here is Cullen after Manchester United give the ball away inside their own half. Koleosho again showing none of that verve and vibrancy that gave him such a top billing after Monday's performance. Just looked a little bit less inclined to take on the defence. Reguilon gets closer to him, nabs the ball from his toes. Cullen picks it up halfway. Burnley in possession, 53 on the clock.
Great defending there from Reguilon in that left-back position alongside Koleosho. He's got his number, hasn't he, at the moment? I'm going to make a statement, Sam. I know that Tresor's came onto the pitch for Goodmanson in the first half. I think he's going to get sub by this game's finished. I think they're going to have to bring Manuel Benson on and switch the 2 wide players over if they're going to get the job.
One by Amdouni, edge of the penalty area. McTominay just about recovers. Brownhill going in with a challenge. It comes to Koleosho, edge of the penalty area. Right-footed shot, stopped by Casemiro. Still Burnley have it just on the edge of the Manchester United penalty area. They play it towards the left, and now Mike Trésor tries to go down the outside to take on Dalot. Produces a low cross into the area, stabbed away by Lindelof on the edge of the 6. It's cleared further by Fernandes, who came back and helped out his defence. And then El-Dakhil gets it back to his goalkeeper and will build once again for Burnley. That was a little bit brighter from Burnley, and they did it by winning the ball up high up in opposition territory. A little bit of dawdling from McTominay and Casemiro, And all of a sudden, there was a chance.
Well, I don't know what Scott McTominay's doing at Cruyff turn on the edge of his own 18-yard box when he's got 3 Burnley players around him.
Dalot, who was the happiest man in the stadium when Joey Gudmundsson went off and Trésor came out towards this near side and Koleosho switched wings. He's picked the ball up, Koleosho, over on the far side, run into Casemiro. Referee, well, initially he was going to play on, and it was only because of the intervention of Richard West, the assistant over on the far side, that the yellow card ended up being distributed to protesting. I think that was for protesting to Reguilon, wasn't it?
It certainly looks that way. I don't know, Koleosho was standing behind him with about 10 or 15 yards away, and he pointed the yellow card in that direction. I don't think the foul was bad enough to give the wide player a yellow card, so I think it has to go down to Reguilon. He's still waving his arms around, so I think it has to be him, Sam. He's just so frustrated that more than a foul wasn't given to Koleosho. Maybe he was showing his studs as he went in for the challenge there, but a little bit of frustration now from Manchester United. Things aren't going their way over the last couple of minutes.
This is Talksport, 55 gone. It's Burnley 0, Manchester United 1 on Talksport with Now. And don't forget, with Now you can watch all the live Sky Sports action for just $11.99, no contract. Search Now Sports. Like tomorrow's game between Arsenal and Tottenham.
Those 2 centre-halves of Manchester United switched over again, because in the first half Johnny Evans looked like he was playing as a right centre-half. He's certainly now playing as a left-sided centre-half. I don't know if that's just finding the right position and getting yourself into an area where you've just maybe drifted out of, but no question Johnny Evans is playing left-hand side of the 2 of them now.
Yeah, by the way, it's been confirmed to us that it was Sergi Reguilon for arguing the yellow card. He goes into the referee's notebook. Koleosho takes him on, plays it out towards the right-hand side. Now he's got a bit of room to manoeuvre, and he does so at pace. He takes on Reguilon. He's got to be careful now. Played infield in towards Connor Roberts. Roberts just hesitates, takes an extra touch, goes back out to Koleosho, who now faces up, goes on the outside of Reguilon, gets the cross in, sliding in to stop the ball was Reguilon. Reguilon puts it out. Can't quite believe the decision's gone against him, and it's a corner.
Well, it's certainly a good battle now, isn't it? That's both full-backs for Manchester United to find themselves on yellow cards. Koleosho 1v1 running at Reguilon. Fantastic defender from the left-back there. He was frustrated that he did give that corner away.
Corner then to be taken by Brownhill far side. Bayer up from the back, so is Taylor. It's another short one, which is played into Mike Trésor. They change the angle and they almost give it away. Now it's back with Ramsey. Back out to the right side. Brownhill's delivery takes a flick. It's, again, taking too many touches, overthinking, doing too much when the simple is the best recipe.
Yeah, and I think when they get round the 18-yard box of Manchester United, they're trying to play that perfect pass. The quality's not really been there when they put the ball into the box, even from set pieces, and now, it's so tight in that area.
Also,
they're giving the ball away.
Much opportunity to get the ball out wide, so they've just picked the ball up on the halfway line. They've tried to play a little 1-2 in a central area. There's a huge amount of space for Koleosho to run into. They haven't used it. Now they look to find him down the left-hand side. The ball's not perfect this time from Jordan Bayer, and it floats out of play and away for a throw in the right fullback position for Manchester United, who lead by a goal to nil, live on Talksport. Tomorrow the Sunday session comes from Stamford Bridge. Chelsea against Aston Villa is where I'll be based. Alex Crook and Perry Groves will be at the North London derby. There are no shorter than 5 fixtures from the Premier League tomorrow, 2 from the Championship. We've got Rugby World Cup games as well, matches in Scotland for you. We've got non-stop action between 1:30 and 6:30, and then when we're finished you'll be able to react to all of the day's football with Alan Pardew and Majestic. 6:30 the final word, the phone in 03717223344. When we finished here today, by the way, we've got live boxing, World Championship boxing with Joe Joyce against Zhili Zhang. Here is Manchester United coming forward after winning the ball in midfield. The ball's floated into the area looking for Rashford, who heads it down. Højlund trying to get there. It's a brilliant intervention by Amin Al-Dakhil, who hoists the ball into the sky. Trafford tried to stop it from going out for a corner and can't. But there was a bit of controversy in the middle of the park where Burnley thought there was a foul, which led to the Manchester United attack. They're pleading to the referee for some sort of mitigation, but He's already given the corner and he's not going to change his mind.
Yeah, and they're asking for the foul from Victor Lindelof, who went to ground, but he won the ball, Sam. It was a brilliant move from Manchester United. What a last-ditch challenge from Al Dakhil.
That was brilliant. He got in front of Højlund and managed to hoist it towards his own goal. Ball into the box. Again, Trafford comes. He doesn't look confident from these wide deliveries. It was the same on Monday night. Hannibal Mejbri recycles it. This time Trafford will get hold of it. He'll able to clear. And then he runs to the edge of his own penalty area, holding on to the ball and waiting for options to present themselves in front of him. It is the hour mark, and Manchester United lead by 1-0 on a chilly night in Lancashire. I know it's the end of September, but it is officially the autumn in the northern hemisphere now. Did you know that this weekend, meteorologically? So that's what it's called. Apparently, I was listening to the radio the other day and I heard that.
I didn't know that, Sam.
Nor did Sal, our producer, who turned up here without a coat tonight.
With a hoodie.
Rookie move. Here is Amdouni. Bear in mind he's the most experienced of all of us. Here on the right-hand side, Mike Trésor has sped away after a 50-50 challenge on halfway, and Burnley are coming forward. Koleosha's at the far post. It's too close to Onana. The delivery into the box. Those wingers have switched again. Mike Trésor has gone down the right side, and Koleosha has come to the left-hand side again. And immediately it sort of paid dividends for Burnley. Ball sent long by Manchester United, though. At the other end, Bruno Fernandes is chasing. He takes it wide to the left and then brings it back into Sergi Reguilón's possession. They go back to halfway. They themselves slowing down their attack. And now it's with Diego Dalot on halfway. He's been on a booking since the first 15 minutes of the game. Evans, who created the goal for Bruno Fernandes, which separates these two teams. It's been a challenging start to the season for both. For one of them, it's not going to get much better over the next half an hour. Hannibal Mejbri playing it infield to Lindelof. Neither of the two managers inclined to make a switch just yet. Wonder who will blink first. Dalot delivers the ball in towards the near post. By ahead and manages to prod out a right leg, which flicks the ball into the air. Out comes Trafford, collects from the night sky, and then Burnley will take it forward. Burnley, well-structured team. They've changed a lot of players, 15 new players in the summer. They had a lot on loan last season. They're missing some of those key figures from last year. Nathan Teller isn't available to them. You mentioned Maatsen in the first half of the game. Players that really helped them win that championship with a swagger last year. And it is going to take some time. Adrian Durham highlighted a quote on Monday when we were building up to the game against Nottingham Forest about Vincent Kompany saying we will get better. If that's 6 days or 6 months, it will happen. It certainly took a bit of time to get up to speed at the beginning of last season and ended up romping that division. And it's not all bad from Burnley, but they're just lacking that zip in the final third, aren't they?
Yeah, no, absolutely, yeah. But I think from the three sides, Sam, that got promoted from the Championship last season, I think maybe everybody looked before the ball was kicked and gave Burnley the fighting chance out of the three of them. So it's a bit of a surprise to me that Burnley have conceded a lot of goals, but you have to take into consideration there has been a lot of changes. We're still getting used to playing Premier League football, which is completely different to playing Championship week in, week out, and it's going to be hard for them. But from what I see, they've got the qualities to go and win football matches.
Bayer travelling forward with the ball, giving it away cheaply, and now Rashford can turn and fire it forward down the right for Højlund to chase. He gets into the right wing position ahead of Amin Al Dakhil, who goes across and tries to hold him off. A little back heel, finds Dalot, gets the better of the defender, gets to the byline, got a chance to pull it through the box. Now he does that. Bruno Fernandes at the far post, doesn't reach him, comes to Reguilón, tries to cut infield, comes back to McTominay, sweeps it goalwards, low across the floor. And a bit like a daisy cutter, it goes into the arms rather easily of James Trafford away to our right-hand side. Burnley's problems are there is not enough punch up front and there's too many holes at the back.
Yeah, and take away the goals that they got from last season. Teller was one that you mentioned there, Sam, again. But they had qualities, and the new faces that have come through the door are still maybe trying to find their feet. As Moody's got himself on the score sheet against Nottingham Forest, looks a real goal threat. But he's playing in a different position tonight, something that again he's going to have to get used to. You talked about the goals that he got in the Swiss League, I think you mentioned, but the Premier League's a different kettle of fish altogether.
Yeah, they've missed Ekdal, haven't they, who played at centre half earlier in the season and was thought of as someone who could bring a bit more quality in that centre half position. He's had a knee issue and has been out for a little while, but is edging back to full fitness. He's not available from the bench tonight, but hoping that he will be back at some time in the not too distant future. Erik ten Hag's team just trying to again assert their authority on the match. He was asked about the challenges that he's faced this season. He said he's not surprised by them. He said it's a second year. I know it's not always going to be up. You'll have gaps and peaks and troughs. You'll get stronger from it as long as you stay together. That's what we are doing, he said. And certainly in the week, the rumours of dressing room bust-ups and leaks about some of the players' attitude towards the manager wasn't welcome, I don't think. But he refuted suggestions that he's a disciplinarian. He said that being a manager demanded a multifaceted approach. Here is Reguilon trying to find Rashford, edge of the area. He tries to feed the run of Højlund, who's gone down the right channel. He's held off by Charlie Taylor, but Taylor was being mauled by the big Dane. And as a result, the ball's out of play on this near side. Currently Burnley 0, Manchester United 1. For the latest odds, head to Betfair, the official betting partner of Talksport's Premier League coverage, where right now you can get Burnley to come back and win 16-1. Manchester United to secure all 3 points, 4-1 on. The draw is 15-4. Don't forget, Betfair are paying out winning bets at 90 minutes with a 90-minute payout. Applies to match odds 90 markets or markets with the 90 icon. It's all thanks to Betfair 18+. BigGambleAware.org. Mike Trezor fed down the right-hand side, and then not entirely sure even he knows what he was trying to do there, because he just rushed his cross, which was flipped right into the arms of Andre Onana, and another promising situation comes to nothing for Burnley, who trail by a goal to nil.
And it did, and he got again. They're getting into some very good positions, but that quality into the final third's just not there. I have to say, I think Andre Onana's looked very comfortable tonight in that Manchester United goal, albeit they could have had one slid past him in the first half, the one that came off the post, but his handling has been very good. I think we all know that he's got very good feet, and playing out from the back he's looked pretty decent as well, so this will be good for his confidence moving forward. I was going to ask you, Sam, what do you think tonight was all about for Man United? Was it about
winning.
Performance, winning? Forget the performance.
All about winning. Nothing matters apart from that tonight for Manchester United. If they lose this evening, it's the worst start since 1986-87. They need to make sure that they put 3 points on the board this evening. This is not a game against the bottom of the table side that they can afford to lose. And if they do win, Burnley will be bottom of the table tonight. Josh Cullen down the right-hand side into Connor Roberts, who's inside the penalty area. He steers it into a promising position, but again, the lack of a centre forward means that it's quite easy for Lindelof just to stick that over the top of the crossbar. It goes out for a Burnley corner.
Yeah, it's a nice move, isn't it? Mixing it up a little bit now, Burnley, just playing that ball over the top. Lovely little run from Connor Roberts, just got his head up there, tried to play the ball into a decent area. And again, if he's making the run from full-back areas, you need your forward players to get themselves a bust to gut, to get anywhere near that 6-yard box, just to get a little tap in and the equaliser.
23 to go, and there is 5-2 AMAT for Mike Trezor over on the far side. Don't overcomplicate this one, just get it into the box and see what can happen. There's two on the edge of the box should it come back out. Fernandes is the first man and he heads it. It was another poor delivery from Mike Trezor, picked up by Connor Roberts, played into Brownhill. They're very deep here. They've been driven all the way back to their own halfway line, and then it's all the way to base camp, and James Trafford's got it from their corner.
Yeah, and it all comes because they don't beat the first man yet again. How many opportunities have they had from free kicks in corners? And they've been really scrappy, Burnley. They're hugely important in a game like this. Quality's got to be better.
That illness or issue for Joey Gudmundsson really affected the nature of this game, I think, because he's a very good set-piece deliverer. The ability to send crosses in from wide areas would have unsettled Manchester United more than the deliveries that have come in subsequently. Here is Amin Al-Dekil playing the ball out towards the far side. In it goes to Amdouni, who tries to get round McTominay and Mejbri nicks the ball, gives it to McTominay, and then it goes out wide for Bruno Fernandes. Is on the left-hand side, lifting the ball through the middle of the pitch. Is chested down by Charlie Taylor, but Højlund has won it back, and now over on this right-hand side, Rashford's got it. It's got some support from Dalot, moves towards the angle of the penalty area, lays it off to Dalot. There's space for Casemiro to operate in. He moves up 10 yards outside the box, floats the ball into the area, and it's good defending by Connor Roberts, who holds off Fernandes, who was coming round the back and looking to challenge for that ball as it was floated beautifully into the box by the Brazilian. And Fernandes couldn't get round the strong Welshman. And it's cleared away.
Yeah, just a shame that for Bruno Fernandes just couldn't get away from his marker. Has to go down as very good defender, but they've had a little bit of a switch up themselves, United, haven't they?
Rashford's come out to this right-hand side and he's running now to the edge of the penalty area. Right-footed shot, cannon unleashed, which hits the back of Jordan Bayer and repels towards this near side. Manchester United have it again. It's still 1-0 to them. Casemiro coming forward, United coming forward. But this attack actually started because Burnley failed to clear their lines properly, and it's been a bit like that, isn't it? It's two teams that are very short on confidence, not entirely up to where they want to be. A very different Manchester United, I think, that you're seeing tonight than what you'll see later on in the season. And Mount, Amrabat, Varane all come back into the team. But they're leading here, and that is all that matters tonight.
I think you're spot on, Sam, isn't it? It is about the result tonight. It's a game that Manchester United need to win. Burnley will have other things on their mind. They want to try and win this game themselves if they possibly can, but I think Erik ten Hag and the pressure that he finds himself under, being scrutinised from pillar to post, on and off the field.
A lot of people talking about the fact that Manchester United weren't running enough, weren't tracking back in areas they were supposed to. Have you seen a little bit more fight, a bit more desire to do those things tonight?
I still want to see more, but I think the addition of bringing Hannibal into the starting 11, you can see the energy levels that he's brought to the side. Scott McTominay's obviously got himself back into the starting 11 because we know that he's a fit young man. Maybe might not have the quality on the ball that you need as a Manchester United player, but that's what's clearly been missing from this Manchester United starting 11. And Bruno Fernandes, to his credit as well, he's worked his socks off tonight.
Burnley have the ball deep inside their own half. 20 minutes gone. Whatever happens here tonight doesn't repair the damage from earlier in the season for Manchester United. There's still a long way to go. Trésor tries to bend it round the back of the defence. You get the feeling that Burnley might benefit from having a focal point. Jay Rodriguez maybe. Here is Amdouni trying to play the ball down the right. It's cut out by McTominay, and now Manchester United look to break, and it's a poor ball by Rashford out towards the far side, cut out by Hannibal Mejbri, and Erik ten Hag is absolutely incandescent on the far side.
And so he should be. I mean, it's a simple pass for Marcus Rashford to play out to his left-hand side there. That's what infuriates managers, when they give the ball away so cheaply.
Again, Burnley get the ball, don't move it with any real speed. Eventually shift it out towards this left-hand side. Charlie Taylor. Koleosha's hardly had any involvement in the last 10 minutes of the game since moving out to this left-hand side and bursting into speed once and causing problems for Dalot. Here is Ramsey coming out to this near side. He's touched the floor by Lindelof, and it goes out for a free kick on this left-hand side. So it is Burnley 0, Manchester United 1 on Talksport, and a free kick to Burnley. Now clearly the free kick is being... I mean, Tony Harrington's making them take it from about 6 yards back from where Ramsey clearly was fouled.
Yeah, absolutely. And he stayed on the ground here now as well. I think it's to give the opportunity for Burnley to make the 3 substitutions that are going to be coming onto the field right now, Sam. I think Berg looks like he's going to be one of them. He's given that height, that physicality for these set pieces. And when they do start to put the ball in the box now, they have got that height. They've got somebody to aim for. But these are little moments in games where you've got to make it count in your advantage.
Koleosha is not marked, and so is Amdouni. And Jacob Brun-Larsen is coming on. On comes Jay Rodriguez through the centre. Brun-Larsen, only appearances since landing on loan from Hoffenheim, have been off the bench. He played for company at Anderlecht. Jay Rodriguez, who once scored against Manchester United. A late goal in a draw at Old Trafford. Comes off the bench to lead the line now, and Sander Berge is on as well. I didn't see the last player to go off for Burnley. I think it's Aaron Ramsey who has gone off, and Sander Berge is on. He was very good actually when he came off the bench on Monday night. Sander Berge adds a little bit of poise and energy and physicality, as Mickey was saying. Here is Jordan Bayer to Amin Al-Dakil. It's played forward by Burnley towards this left-hand side. They've got 16 minutes to rescue something from this game. Manchester United protecting their advantage, not making any changes up until this point. Sofian Amrabat is warming up away to our right-hand side. I wonder if he'll be one of the changes that comes on in this second half here for a Manchester United debut. Here is Jordan Bayer in the centre circle for Burnley, moving down the left. He finds Charlie Taylor. Taylor moving up into the left wing position, comes in field, gives it to Josh Cullen, a little touch into Brownhill, and Casemiro has found him. That's going to be a free kick, 18 yards from the edge of the 18-yard box on this left-hand side.
And another opportunity here for Burnley, Josh Brownhill, but they're taking a short free kick. I don't understand why they're doing this. That's a chance to put the ball in the box. You've got fresh legs on as well.
In round the back, the ball has been played in towards Bruin Larson, and out comes the goalkeeper. Then Jay Rodriguez, was he nudged to the floor? Johnny Evans and Jay Rodriguez went in for the ball as it parried off Onana. The ball was played deep towards the far post, and Bruin Larson was coming in from that right-hand side. He managed to get the ball towards goal. It was stopped by Onana, who did really well, and then the loose ball in the box was chased by Rodriguez and Johnny Evans. And Jay Rodriguez, I think, is the one who's going to be penalised here. Johnny Evans using all of the experience that he's got, by the way, to stay down. But I tell you what, that was about as 50-50 as you can imagine.
Yeah, it certainly was. Great opportunity, wonderful ball into the box, and I have to say, Andre Onana, he was sharp from his touchline, wasn't he, to get any contact on that ball. If the first touch was better, it was a big opportunity for Burnley, but I think you're right, Sam. As Jay Rodriguez goes in with Johnny Evans there, I think he was the one who went across to him and tapped him on the side to say, OK, I know I've made a foul there. No appeals for a penalty. I can hear the Burnley supporters were wanting something, but...
Mr. Vincent Kompany is appealing to the better judgment of Chris Kavanagh and asking for an explanation as to why that is not a penalty. VAR, as we understand it, is not checking it. And Vincent Kompany's protest. And he didn't really have too many protests when I spoke to him on Monday night, when a goal was ruled out for handball and he had a player sent off for what he felt was more of a sort of rough and tumble in the penalty area more than anything else. He said, I don't really play lawyer and go through the intricacies of the details. I leave that to the specialist. I did ask him who the specialist was in his team, and maybe it was Craig Bellamy, who had quite a lot to say. He didn't really answer that. Your thoughts on it? Is there a possibility of a penalty? I'm not sure there was. I thought it was 50-50.
I think you look at the reaction of Jay Rodriguez, the tap on the side of Johnny Evans, and the way that he started to run back towards the halfway line. I think that kind of says it all, Sam. He knew himself that there was going to be no penalty, which was why there was no appeals, and the only appeal that came was from Vincent Kompany in the Burnley technical area. It's interesting that Craig had something to say. I've spent quite a bit of time at Burnley with Craig.
Here on the left-hand side, the ball is with Johnny Evans, who tries to get it out from the back, and he's put Manchester United back in possession by winning a foul. Jacob Bruin Larson just sort of edged his way into him. He's very experienced, Johnny Evans. He knew exactly what he was doing there. He's waiting for that challenge, went down, drew the free kick, play on. I think you meant to say, I spent a lot of time with
I said Burnley,
Blackburn.
didn't I?
You said Burnley.
I know, well...
I mean, if the Burnley fans found out that two Blackburn players were hanging out in Burnley back in the day, then they would have had a field day.
Well, I've had a couple of chats with him while I've been here as well, while he's been at Burnley. But I did mean Blackburn, yes. I was thinking about it as soon as I said it, yeah. I have to say, Sam, Johnny Evans has had a brilliant game tonight.
Yep.
He's done really well. You know, when he's been called upon, he's done his job, he's stood tall. But a lot of people looked at it before the game and thought, wow, what a chance for Burnley, but he's been excellent tonight.
The one thing I think that people will say is, A, yeah, this is Burnley, and B, he's not playing against the centre forward. Here's Bruin Larson down the right hand side, delivering across into the box, and it's steered away by Dallow at the far post and out for a corner kick. Well, there was a good delivery that from the right hand side by Bruin Larson, who's been pretty impressive the Dane since coming off the bench here. Substitute for Manchester United. Off goes Reguilon, and on comes Raphael Varane.
Well, I don't know what Man United are going to do here. I mean, who plays left back? This is a bizarre one for me.
I'm going to suggest that Dallow's going to go to left back, Varane and Evans are playing the centre, and Lindelof will play right back. There you go, that's my first guess. We'll see what happens. Varane is on to try and deal with this corner. Not always a great idea to change a player like that at a corner, but he's come straight on to mark Jay Rodriguez, but he is a World Cup winner, so if anyone can handle it, it should be him. Ball in from this near side. Mike Tresor's delivery. Jay Rodriguez tries to get there. Johnny Evans rises, leaps and heads the ball clear. It's a brilliant header from Johnny Evans. He's been rolling back the years today in terms of his performance. He's created a goal. He's been very good at centre half. You do wonder what it'd be like if he was up against a proper powerhouse striker, but it's certainly not been a bad performance at all by the veteran, who is 35 years of age. Let's have a look how they're going to shape up here. Dalot is over on that left-hand side, that is for sure. At the moment, it looks like Bruno Fernandes is playing right back.
And the two centre-halves have switched again, Sam. It's Lindelof is now on the left-hand side. Johnny Evans is through the middle. I think they've gone to a 5, and it looks like Bruno Fernandes is right wing-back.
We shall see how it pans out. Here comes Manchester United. Johnny Evans wins the ball, plays it up to Højlund, and now on the right-hand side, they've got Fernandes. To the left, they've got Rashford. It's the wrong ball, actually. Should have played it straight out to the right side where Fernandes had more room. They fancied Rashford instead because of his pace, but actually the ball wasn't good enough. Then there's a collision over on the far side. Hannibal Mejbri gets involved with Connor Roberts. Connor Roberts just turns round and starts having a go at him because he knows that was a poor challenge by Hannibal. The referee tells him to calm down. It's a free kick in the right full-back position for Burnley. Getting a bit spicy with 10 to go.
Yeah, it is. It's got a little bit sloppy in the last couple of minutes. Hannibal just needed to get himself back on his feet as quick as he possibly can.
That was naughty from Hannibal. Not only did he have two little kick-outs after the ball had gone, he was on the floor and then threw himself back as if he'd been hit by Connor Roberts, and he hadn't been.
Yeah, and all after a very promising move from Manchester United, but you're right, Sam, just the wrong pass.
Yeah, Sander Berge carrying the ball well down the right-hand side. Marcus Rashford doing his tracking back and doing well. Brun Larsen takes over, right wing position. Burnley still have the ball. Is there a chance of a late equaliser here? Remember, we've got Joe Joyce against Shili Zhang. The rematch a little bit later on tonight, live on Talksport. Adam Catterall leading our team, Andy Clark behind the mic, Spencer Oliver, Gareth A. Davis and Carl Froch part of your team for Big Time Boxing on Talksport. Fight night from 10 o'clock this evening. Tomorrow the Sunday session, and then Carabao Cup football Tuesday and Wednesday for you. Here's Mike Tresor down the left hand side. Charlie Taylor into the centre. It hits Scott McTominay and goes behind and away for another Burnley corner. Surely this time they'll get a delivery into the box.
Well, every outfield player from Burnley is surrounded or inside of the Manchester United 18-yard box, hoping to get something on this cross, but the quality has to be there.
Manchester United, who have conceded so many goals this season, trying to stay firm as the ball goes towards the near post, and Sander Berge rises but can't get a clean header on target. It goes over the top of the crossbar. The ball went in towards the edge of the 6-yard box. He got up well above Scott McTominay and Rasmus Højlund, headed the ball over the top of the crossbar. He couldn't keep it down.
And Andre Onana's position, he was in no man's land. He tried to come to clear his lines but got nowhere near it. Just needed the slightest little glance from Berg there, and it would have found its way into the back of the net.
Before today, Manchester United averaged 49.9% possession in the Premier League this season. They've never averaged below 50% in the Premier League season since records began. Now, they've had only 40% of the ball in this game. Is this the style that Manchester United expected to be playing 14 months into the Erik ten Hag project away from home?
Well, it's definitely not. It's definitely not, is it, Sam? And I think we go back to the point where we said it's all about the result tonight. It's not about how they play. It has been scrappy at times, but what I have seen is players willing to do the hard yards, starting to work a little bit harder. Not every one of them. Wasn't it Bielsa, I think, wasn't it? If you didn't run a certain amount of kilometres in a game, they had you in on the Sunday or the Monday to make up the bit that you didn't do.
Ten Hag did that last year against Brentford, didn't he? They ran 13 kilometres less than Brentford, so he got them in on the Sunday and made them do 13k. But he did it with them, to be fair. Here is Sander Berge over on the right-hand side. I bet Bielsa didn't do that. Flick forward into the penalty area. Here's Jay Rodriguez inside the box, plays it against Rafa Varane. It goes out for a corner. Well, Jay Rodriguez just saw the opportunity come his way as it was floated over the top of the defence. He was onside because Dalot had switched off. in the right full-back position. He escaped towards the edge of the box, but he didn't really look like he was confident to take that shot on. It was blocked by Varane. Actually, I don't think he really got that much of a touch on it, Rodriguez, and it flicks behind and away for a corner. 6 minutes to go before the end of the 90. It's 1-0 to Manchester United away from home, but Burnley have a corner, and Mike Trezor still has the responsibility of taking it. A delivery into the edge of the 6-yard box, headed away by Varane this time. Slightly better delivery, but no one in claret and blue was attacking it. Roberts keeps it alive. Good ball out to the right side, and then Trezor gives the ball away cheaply. Medjbri forward, Rashford racing, and it's Rashford against Jordan Bayer in the edge of the penalty area. He goes on the outside, then on the inside, runs into a bit of traffic, looks to get a shot away, and he crosses the ball into a tight knot of claret and blue shirts. It's Josh Cullen who makes the vital block at the end, and it deflects behind and away for a corner. But actually, I wonder whether or not, again, Marcus Rashford's made the right choice. He's come in diagonally from the left flank, he's running at Bayer and goes infield as opposed to going outside on his left foot. If he'd done that, there would have been a better opportunity to get a cleaner strike on goal.
But in the space of 4 seconds, I've just seen what Manchester United were all about last season. Counter-attacking football.
Corner on the far side to be taken over on that far side by Casemiro. Is that right-footed? Delivers the ball right into the 6-yard box. It's headed into the air, comes back from McTominay. McTominay heads it down. It's away by Josh Brownhill and out towards this near side. Collected now by Diego Dalot. Dalot back out the right, and Hannibal Medjbri. He lifts it over the top and into the right wing position. Scott McTominay chasing. 1-0 to Manchester United, but it's been a fight, a scrap to try and hold on to these 3 points. He sends the ball through the 18-yard box. It flies past everyone and out for a throw-in over on the far side. Is that how you would sum up the game? It's been a proper bout, hasn't it? A fight.
Yes, 100%. Absolutely. And there's been a lot of mistakes out there, which I think is totally understandable when you think what's at stake, not just for Manchester United but for Burnley as well, who've certainly played their part in this game. They've had their opportunities, but I think you just look for that little bit of quality in the final third, and Manchester United are just tipping that at the moment, Samantha. Albeit the possession hasn't been great in the game tonight. Some of the football has been so scrappy, but at times you can see what Manchester United are trying to do. But that move a second ago with Marcus Rashford bursting forward for Man United winning the ball back is what he's best at. He's not good when he's static, Marcus. He needs to be running at defenders. I know it was the wrong decision in the end. He should have played the ball out to his right-hand side. But he's so eager to get himself on the score sheet because the chances that he's created are few and far between.
Remember, the away form has been such an issue for Manchester United. If we go back over the last 50 years, they've never lost their opening 2 away league games in a season. 1973-74 the last time they did that. They've lost 7 of their last 11 away Premier League games. They've won just 3 of the last 12. They've lost 18 of the last 35 away in all competitions. There's a lot of numbers there, but they all add up to the same thing, which is Manchester United and away from home doesn't usually end in 3 points. It just might today, with 3 minutes to go. It was a place they had to come. They had to get 3 points. They're going to do that, I think, if they can hold on here. Sofian Amrabat, I think, is coming off the bench as well, which will give them greater encouragement going forward. Here is Bayer playing it in towards Rodriguez, who holds off the challenge of McTominay. Good feet by Sander Berger out towards the left side. Chance for Charlie Taylor to lift the ball into the box. Mike Trezor's the only one in there. Might come all the way through to Manuel Benson, who's kept it alive. He sends it to the edge of the box. Opportunity now for the ball to be played down the right hand side by Roberts onto Berger. Back into Manuel Benson, who sends it across to Cullen. Gets it back, Manuel Benson. Skips past Fernandez. Works his way to the edge of the box. He's got Hannibal Medjbri, and then a left-footed shot well over the top of the crossbar. It's an ooh and laugh for the crowd, but I don't think it was ever really troubling Andre Onana. And it goes out and away for a goal kick, and Manchester United making a change now, and Johnny Evans coming off, and he gets a big round of applause from those Manchester United supporters who think that he's put in a very, very good performance, and he goes off to be replaced by Sofian Amrabat, the new start for Manchester United, the player that Erik ten Hag wanted in his team, the new Manchester United number 4. The United fans happy with Evans and happier to see Sofian Amrabat too. You are listening to Burnley 0, Manchester United 1 on Talksport with Now, and don't forget that with Now you can stream all the Sky Sports action like Arsenal versus Tottenham and Sheffield United versus Newcastle United live tomorrow for $11.99. No contract. Search Now Sports. Talksport live at Turf Moor. Manchester United leading by a goal to nil, going into the final minute and a half of the game. Charlie Taylor sending it long. How different things might have been if Amdouni had not hit the post but found the net. Brun Larsen, who's played well since coming on, his little cameo has been quite impressive, and he's switched the play brilliantly to find Sander Berge on halfway. A chance to attack now. Manuel Benson takes over in the right wing position. Amrabat backpedaling. He goes back in field to Sander Berge, then Cullen, then Berge again. Berge out towards the far side. Too much recycling going on for Burnley. Benson cuts his way to the edge of the area, delivers across. Rodriguez trying to get in front of Varane, but Varane spotted that and managed to clear, and it goes up into midfield. And now a chance for Manchester United to come on a counter-attack, and they come forward quickly. Hannibal Mejbri sends it wide out to Fernandes, who can gallop into green grass. He moves up towards the edge of the penalty area, cuts in on his right foot, threatens to shoot, plays a reverse pass into Højlund. Højlund's strike is blocked by Jordan Bayer, and it goes out for a corner kick over on the far side. 4 minutes of added time at the end of the 90. Mickey Gray.
Yeah, it's a very good move, isn't it, from Manchester United down that left-hand side. That lovely little reverse pass into the path of Rasmus Højlund there. Just keeps it low. He does everything right. Again, last-ditch challenges from Burnley defenders there, throwing their bodies at it. Absolutely fantastic.
After conceding 3 goals in each of their last 3 games, Manchester United will be delighted if they can come away with not only 3 points but a clean sheet as well. It's just the 4th away win in 13 matches for Manchester United. Here is the corner, far side, delivered by Fernandes to the edge of the box. Mejbri heads it, not great, almost across the 18-yard box, but too wide. Went straight to a claret and blue shirt. Connor Roberts, who kicked it clear, back to halfway, back into the box. Roberts watched it all the way, thought there was an offside against Fernandes, can't believe there wasn't, put the ball out and away for a corner anyway, and more defending to do for Burnley.
I'd be surprised if Bruno Fernandes, who looks as if he's going across to take this corner, actually takes it quickly.
He was offside as well, by the way.
Yeah, he was a lot offside, wasn't he? But yeah, you can see they're just going to try and keep it and hold it in the corner now. You were throwing stats around, Sam, earlier, weren't you? But I think the most important one is the one you just touched on a second ago there, is the clean sheet. I think that will please Erik ten Hag so much.
Yeah, still got a few minutes of added time to get through yet. Maybe we shouldn't count Manchester United's chickens before they come home to roost. Ball is out of play over on the far side. Manchester United do look as if they are going to get 3 points on their travels. So 3 points that will be incredibly welcome for this team, this unit. Burnley will be bottom of the table. Manchester United up into 8th position, snuggling up beneath Aston Villa, who play tomorrow away at Chelsea, one of a huge number of games in the Premier League tomorrow. Onana forward, over the halfway line, brought down by Rasmus Højlund. Offside against Rashford would have been given by the referee had the ball have come his way. Mejbri's picked it up though, and now moves down the right hand side. It's collected by Dalot, moves up to the edge of the penalty area on the Manchester United right. He sings across him towards Fernandes, who does well acrobatically to wrap his foot around the body of Connor Roberts, get a shot away, and Trafford saves it down low to his left. Picked up by Charlie Taylor on this near side, sends it long, high up, goes straight to the Manchester United jersey. And Burnley, I think, just getting a little bit frustrated. The Burnley supporters feeling as if their team have run out of ideas.
Yeah, it's got that feel about it, hasn't it? Going to come off this pitch a little bit disappointed, Sam, that they've not created as many chances as they may be expected to against a struggling Manchester United side. But you can see the positives. There's a few plus signs for Manchester United moving forward. Energy levels have been a lot better tonight as well.
Yellow card for Jordan Bayer, first Burnley player to go in the notebook. For Burnley, they failed to win any of their opening 9 Premier League games 2 seasons ago. We know what happened there. They lost 4 of the first 5. And when we look at the statistics from this, they would have lost 4 of the first 5 this time around as well. How tough do you think this season's going to be for Vincent Kompany?
Look, it's going to be difficult. I think maybe Vincent expected that. They're not used to losing games since he walked through the door at Burnley Football Club, but the Premier League is a different kettle of fish altogether than what the Championship is. And there's statistics out there, Sam, saying that's 14 games in Burnley's Premier League tenure. They've only won 1 in the months of August and September.
Yep. It's a bad start for Burnley. Manchester United will be a lot happier with this victory. Clean sheet and 3 points going their way unless Burnley can come up with a goal in the last 30 seconds. They're not moving the ball fast enough to even get into the Manchester United half, even though they have possession on halfway. Connor Roberts, they need to get it long and towards the edge of the box, but he's waiting too long. You can hear the frustration from the crowd. They want to get the ball moving. Bayer can come forward with it. On to Sander Berger. Is there going to be a last-minute twist in the tail here at Turf Moor? Manuel Benson goes on the outside of Amrabat, who pushes him to the floor, too physical, and that's going to be a free kick to Burnley, wide on the right-hand side, and the last chance of the game for Burnley to take anything from it.
No question, it's a foul. Sofian Amrabat, I don't think he's actually touched the ball since he came onto the field, but the first thing he's had to do is go across and make a foul on Manuel Benson. And now what we got, Sam, goalkeepers coming up.
The Lazio goalkeeper who scored in midweek, wasn't it, from a header right at the end of the game against Atletico in the Champions League. James Trafford is up to cause problems. Here is Manuel Benson from a short corner, takes a few touches, left-footed driving towards the near post, straight into the arms of Andre Onana, and that's the end of the game. Well, after saying that they collapsed too easily, Erik ten Hag shuffled his pack, and this deck of cards, somewhat surprisingly, came up trumps. After 3 straight losses on their travels, finally Manchester United have a win. This can only be seen as just the beginning. They're always expected to beat Burnley, who slipped to the bottom of the Premier League table. But with some of their injured players returning and a positive result behind them, maybe this can be the catalyst for a change in the direction of this team. No one is assuming by any stretch of the imagination that Manchester United are anywhere near back, but they are at least on the right road to a bit of a recovery. They've put 3 points on the board, they've kept a clean sheet, and they've beaten Burnley by 1-0.
You'll hear all the post-match from this game overnight and on the weekend sports breakfast tomorrow morning, when Natalie Sawyer and Tony Cascarino will be dissecting all of today's action and looking ahead to another big day in the Premier League and EFL Championship. Sam Masface just on his way downstairs to speak to Vincent Kompany and Erik ten Hag. A thrilling match in Pool B at the Rugby World Cup, by the way. World champions South Africa against world number 1s Ireland. How did it finish in Paris, David Brady?